Alright, yeah, let's start with Shimazu like every week. We got the new player on it this session.
It's
So,
me.
let's see if he did anything differently. Did he request any idea changes? I don't think so.
No, I'm the Switch player.
You're the what?
The Shimachu player.
Oh, cool.
I'm the
Yeah.
new guy.
So, what's happening in your nation?
Um, Me and Daviet, we killed off Ching, or killed, for a big war against him, because he has low mandate.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just waited for Michiana to null his treaty with Malacca, so I could get my victory cards, because I got both of them on Malacca.
Damn, you've done more in one session with this country than has been done in a while. But yeah, both cards in Malacca, that kind of has to die. And you're not
Yeah,
allied
because
to Vija anymore, so that should be easy for you to get.
no, I was kind
Uh,
of quite far behind in the beginning.
Yeah, but you're catching up. Not quite the great power yet, but that doesn't really matter, does it? Uh, Quality, quantity that you got already, it's good. What's the next idea you're going for if you're willing to share?
I'm not quite sure. I'm thinking of either economic or trade.
Yeah, I'd recommend econ honestly, but
Not maritime?
he doesn't really have any naval threats, does he? So why would he go
Yeah,
maritime right
fair
now?
point.
Like Malacca's, yeah. I don't think
Yeah.
he needs maritime.
No, I won over his navy last time.
Hmm. Maybe the fifth idea group you could go maritime to protect against the colonizers, but I don't think you'll need it in the fort. I think that's a bit soon, you know.
Yeah.
I also don't think that it's worth going maritime actually, because it doesn't give naval army tradition, navy tradition, and it doesn't give you naval maneuver on the general. So it's still kind of. I realized it in in the other game, because I picked maritime ideas and I still lost horribly to you. And I think it doesn't make that much of a difference actually.
Mm.
So if you instead just go something economic and build
And
heavies
build a bunch of ships.
with
Yeah,
the money,
it's
I
better.
think you still win if you have more ships, and so I feel like that's smarter.
Um. Oh, are you gonna form Japan?
My plan was actually to wait to form Japan once I get the last government reform, and then I can go into a theocracy.
Oh, smart, very smart. Um. Yeah, I don't. Very nice income, from what I can see. I don't know what the rest of the world is right now. Score-wise, a little behind, but that should be remedied quite quick. That should be able to get remedied quite quick. Buildings, decent.
Nicely dev gold mines. The thing is, I don't even notice, but the terrain has no effect on the dev cost.
Where is this?
So
gold
there's
mine?
no
Yes.
reason that the
Yeah.
hills one is less developed than the grassland.
No, it was just my
And
points to be honest.
13 development on gold mine is a bit risky.
Yeah,
Looking
you.
at collapsing gold mines, I can tell you a story about it from Mexico.
Yeah, I had to do it early game to get some more
Yeah.
money, and it
Okay.
haven't depleted yet. So
So it paid off.
Lucky you.
yeah,
Other than that, the country seems to be doing great.
What's force limit and max manpower like?
109 force limit and 104k manpower, so not really amazing in that department, but he still has a bunch of Japan to dev, so he spends like a session just deving the shit out of Japan and building force limit buildings. I think he's gonna be in a really good spot. Yeah, he's got no force
I
limit
haven't
buildings.
built any.
His force limit is actually good considering he has no force limit building build and he hasn't finished
Yeah.
quantity. And once he finishes quantity, he will have a
Oh yeah, that's
respectable
gonna
force
spike. I
limit.
thought he finished it.
So, and then you have to downgrade your expectations from what you see in force limit wise in vanilla. It's a lot less here. Like if you look around the world, there are not that many people above 200 yet.
Yeah, it's the first time with
Obviously, Ottomans is above and beyond, but the rest is like they're barely nations reaching 200.
Yeah,
Barely.
Fine. The more depressing is his manpower pool, I think.
Yeah, but like I said, that can get fixed with just a little bit of deving, because his provinces are still. He has a lot of provinces that are under 10, from what I've seen. So just rounding those up to 10 with deving a bunch of manpower, he should be fine. And he's almost finished quantity, so after that he could just focus on dev, you know?
I think he could get better advisors, considering his income is pretty high.
Yeah, the problem
Like-
with him was that the previous player didn't have the estate bonuses for mana till like 1550, so that cocked him out of a lot of points. So that's
Yeah.
why he's quite far behind, but I think he's doing really well with what he's gotten. But yeah, definitely better advisors, I think, would be a good call here.
Could probably go 3-3-3.
Another thing he should maybe focus is like discover the coastline of Alaska, because there are 2 native tribes he can just declare on and core, which
He
is
already
much,
did, I
much
think.
faster than colonizing the land itself.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
think
I'm
it's
trying to-
Hyder and I don't know, something like still in Terra Incognita for him.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Hyder.
discover it now. That's why I'm over leader.
Okay. I mean, all the other tribes have already migrated out of California. Sometimes you're lucky and you have someone still keep at Ewok sitting, but
I
not
think
this
there's one
campaign.
left.
Anyway, country seems to be doing rather well. Let's see where he is
Yeah.
score-wise, although I don't think that really matters. Now, where's the score? Score comparison.
You can see he's at top right corner. He's number 17.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
but
sorry.
once he gets his victory cards, he's gonna shoot
Yeah,
up,
when he gets his victory
and-
cards, he's gonna spike up big time, isn't he?
and he can get them both relatively easy. So
Alright, next one. Ching. Or King. I keep changing the pronunciation every week. Mandate is a problem. I honestly think we just need to get rid of this mechanic next season, because
Yeah.
it's such a
Yeah, and
stupid
then-
mechanic. It's so bad.
Then just change the farmable requirements to not have a mandate.
Yeah, I just think mandate itself it needs to get disabled, because it's not good.
Makes killing AI Ming a bit harder for the hordes. but,
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Disable it completely when we balkanize Meg, but before we balkanize Meg, maybe destroy it when Meg is dead or something like that. I don't know how we would go about that, but like King played good. He killed Oirat and he was doing really well, and then just like fucking up the mandate has kind of put him on the back foot now, and I don't know if he's gonna be able to recover.
Different topic. Maybe you can do it as a decision, like abandon Mandate of Heaven, that a decision that only a player can take, and the AI never takes it.
Mm.
Something like that.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
But different topic, different.
yeah,
But I'm also
Come
prioritizing all his
still-
trade.
Still decent force limit for Ming. Ching. 140k.
Yeah, he's got decent force limit, he's got decent manpower, not great, but you know, like I said, he's below 50 mandate and he's not getting out of that, and the problem is his trips are going to be paid for in the meanwhile, and
Yes.
he can't build up to his force limit because his
Yeah.
income's so low.
yeah, like 50 shock damage received, 50 shock damage like dealt, minus 50%
Yeah.
goods produced,
I-
national manpower minus 50.
Since
Like,
he's struggling with income, I don't know if I'd be maintaining all these forts or even like keeping these, because you have
The
forts in the
forts
grasslands and
reduce
steppes here.
devastation.
Yeah, but look at his trade.
I would just fort up the mountain passes with Korea to
Mm,
secure
by the-
the Shimazu, and then
if you
yeah, go ahead.
quick point, if you look at the Beijing trade note, you know why Qing is making no money.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, that would be why.
Yeah. So he could build some heavies and hunt pirates.
But that's only possible if Shimazu has less than 100 trade efficiency, privateer efficiency.
Okay.
Mhm.
And
Because
I got the flagship.
if you stack privateer efficiency, you can make pirates immune to pirate hunting. So it's
Yeah.
a bit
I think-
questionable,
yeah.
but
Yeah, I think that's gonna be hard to survive for him, to be honest.
I mean, he's got relatively decent allies, so he's at least diplomatically he's solid with Nepal. Even after the war, I've looked at the post-session like army quality and army size. Nepal's still really strong, so I think if Nepal wins in India,
Yeah.
King's gonna win in Asia probably. If you know, Iced honors that alliance. But-
also makes a lot of sense for Qing to ally Malacca, since they have
Yeah.
a new common foe in Japan.
Still got
So-
a bunch of devastation in like the steps with no dev. I definitely think you should fix that right away, because that's ticking your mandate down a lot.
Yeah, he can actually get rid of ticking mandate. Like, if he didn't have 5 loans, if he didn't have corruption, and if he didn't have devastation, he would actually gain not
Yeah.
a lot, obviously, but it would slowly tick up at least.
I'm looking at that right
Yeah,
now.
but then again, his truce is up, so war is likely to come, and then his land gets sieged up
Yeah.
again. Yeah, I don't see how Qing can
I mean,
pull himself out of this.
he just has to hope that Nepal isn't gonna be busy next session, I guess.
Yeah. Right, so that's it for Ching almost. He has.
Yeah.
And he got the second victory card on Dai Viet, and. Yeah. It's gonna be a problem getting that one. I definitely think if you get a chance, you might want to fix your fort line up a little bit. This was he building it to reduce devastation? I'm not sure.
No, I don't think so, because he has devastation in the north.
But
I think
this one, for example, is completely useless because you have a hills fort right here. You don't really need this fort here. Yeah. Anyway, and these three are completely useless because you're not going to get invaded from the west, and maybe fortify the mountain passes in Korea. That would give you a huge advantage against Shimazu, short of naval landings, which is probably what he's going to do anyway. But
I mean, Shimazu can also just land in the north in Siberia and then march south.
Yeah.
Kind of impossible for Qing to defend its line, I think. It's such a large nation, and also, like, if Dai Viet in the south attacks and Shimazu comes from the north, then, I mean, it's... Yeah. Unless he has Nepal. Like, the question is going to be if Nepal helps him or not, because if Dai Viet and Shimazu attack and Nepal joins, then Nepal can just crush Dai Viet and they win.
Well,
and
anyway,
if Nepal doesn't join, then it's just that, I think.
Tough spot, but he's rank 3 right now, so either way this goes next session, that's something to be proud of. So, there is that. Let's move on to Dai Viet, see what's happening here. Did he fix his estates? Or I think he already had them proper, right? Oh no, he still doesn't have Diplo. I don't get that.
I'm gonna have to tell him that next time.
I don't think he's watching the podcast. Just click this button, dude. You get one Diplo a month for free, and it's been what 130 years.
I want to say though, like Dai Viet told me last time that this is his first multiplayer.
All right, so it's been 157 minus 444 starting date. It's been 126 years times 12 months.
That's 1400 points.
This is how much points you would have gotten just by clicking that one button. That's a lot, dude.
Like if you take 1400 points and if you divide it by an average dev cost of like 35, which isn't even like a low estimate.
Like you would have gotten 1,500 points for free.
It's like 40 dev basically. Like 40 Diplo dev. That's like 8 manufactories.
Be behind on Dip Tech right now.
It's 8 manufactories.
Yeah, he wouldn't be behind on Dip Tech. But yeah, like I'm saying, I've noticed that in a couple countries, and they just keep ignoring that for some reason. And the second thing is, you need to be doing better on your power projection, especially if you're going to war with King. You need to do something about it. Again, you can get 10 free power projection just insulting, 15, and bam, you're getting taking mana. 3 mana per month just by doing those 2 clicks. You need to be doing that on cooldown.
For power projection, just 10 light ship privateering in Beijing would give him another 10 power projection.
Yeah, and embargoes, which I don't think he has either. Yeah, you need to put embargoes up.
But good thing he finally got his gold mine from China.
Oh yeah.
I just want to say really quick again that it's his first multiplayer, so I
kind
of feel like
him what to do differently next time. Yeah. It's the small things like that that count in multiplayer because they add up over time.
Yeah.
But yeah, he got the gold mine. He's fucking winning the game in Asia right now, so he's not got much to feel bad about. I'm just telling him what to do better, basically.
Khmer as a vessel is didn't notice that. So it's actually a bigger nation than it looks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
106 force limit, 94,000 manpower. Has a bunch of professionalism stored up, so he can slacken for another 60,000 manpower when war comes. So he's definitely doing really well on that right now. About the same income as King has, and yeah, he's doing well with advisors. I'm pretty sure this was one of those that didn't have all 3 advisors. He seems to have fixed that now, and he's getting more than 10 in every category a month, which is really good. Very good ruler.
One mistake he did that maybe not harm him this game, but is falling behind on Miltech. Like Tech 14 is right now state of the art.
Yeah.
Came off just this year Tech, But I mean, Tech 14 is not so important, but the next Tech, Tech 15 is like day and night. If he doesn't have it, he just dies on the battlefield. So
Tech 15
it's
is
good
really
to always have like.
Yeah, but I can understand why he might have chosen to take ideas instead, because King is so behind, and King is also at Tech 13, and King is his
Yeah, but
only
Nepal-
problem right now. Nepal's too busy with Weech, honestly. So
I mean, by the way, like Queen, even if he would have,
plenty
even
of advice for future.
yeah, for future campaigns. I mean, if Queen was Miltech 15 and Daviet was Miltech 14, I still think Daviet would win the battles just because of the low mandate.
yeah,
That's
so that's what I'm saying.
50% damage taken is just deadly. Like
Yeah.
you get the casualties just spiral so
So,
crazy out of control.
Generally, you want to be up to date with Miltech all the time, but in situations like this, it might be sometimes a better idea to take the national ideas instead, or ideas. Although with this, you didn't really get much from taking these two, but you know.
Yeah, but like if he finishes ideas, he gets 5% tech cost reduction and 10% morale of armies from national tradition. He get the 5 discipline from offensive, so I'm fairly certain that that's worth more than taking Miltech 14.
He's got
Like I wouldn't go tech Miltech 14. I would just keep on going ideas, and when I'm done, then tech up, because
I think he's probably got the
But then
best.
he will be late to 15. That can be.
I don't think he will be late. He gets 13 points a month. Tech
Yeah.
14
Yeah,
is
this
still.
rule is nice. This rule is nice. Yeah.
I think he's got
And
the best
tech,
building value
like I
in
think
Asia.
tech 14 is like, I think since 1570, right? It's just around the corner. So he has like 10 years to finish ideas and get 2 attacks. And the attacks are gonna be stupid cheap also if he takes the ideas.
Yeah.
His fort line's
So
pretty good.
he can take up for 800 points. Yeah, he talked to me last session about his fort line and what he should improve, and so we
I
did some.
think it's pretty good,
strategizing.
except for this one little bit here, because if Nepal gets access to Ayutthaya, he can pretty much siege all of this for free.
No, he can't actually, because Khmer is his vassal and his forts also count. So
Oh,
he has to push through Khmer first too.
yeah, but still, there's no fort here, is there? You see, this little gap here, and you get access to Ayutthaya.
Yeah, you can go through Ayutthaya into Khmer, but once you're in Khmer, you still have to push through Khmer's forts.
Yeah,
So you can't avoid the fort line entirely.
yeah. I just
Just
still
one thing-
think maybe better to build a fort here as well, or move this.
Yeah,
one.
I mean, I would maybe build one on the left side of the, like on the province, how's it called?
Taboy?
Xianghuang, because it's like it's hills and then you're more
North,
safe from
I
the
think.
south. But I feel like he has enough forts. I wouldn't add to them. I feel like
have
it's okay.
No idea where that is.
Because if Nepal walks through Khmer into sieges down Khmer and then pushes north into his capital, at that point the war is already lost if he can't use all of the time to push somewhere else and do something. Like that's. And also he's allied to Vichy, so I mean.
Yeah, he's got a very good ruler.
But yeah,
And
It's not
two
like.
things. His capital is kind of close to the border. I mean, his nation is kind of. It's not very beefy in the sense like he's
Yeah,
strategic depth.
yeah.
So he could think
Yeah.
about moving his capital to this island in China, Hanoi Island. or-
yeah,
or-
definitely that would be a very good move
But,
actually, because he's also allied to Shimazu, which has the strongest navy in the region. So
Yeah.
you know, moving
he
to
should
the island
try
would
to
help.
make a more beefy
Yeah.
nation, so you have like more distance towards from your capital to your enemy.
This is a thing that I don't like, and I think I saw it in King and Japan too. None of them have a full cannon stack yet, and I mean, it might be a bit of a struggle to afford it, but I would try and figure it out, because not even a full cannon stack, but at least a 10 cannon stack would make a major difference in an actual war.
I think a full cannon stack at this point, if you fight a serious war, is kind of mandatory.
Yeah, it is 1570. You should definitely have
I mean,
a full cannon stack by now, but yeah.
It's okay to have only like a half full cannon stack and say, okay, if a war starts, I'm gonna just like recruit the missing cannons, so I don't have to pay for them all time. But
Mhm.
It takes
I
like
think
3 months to get the cannons.
if a war starts, you should be at full cannon. Like when I fought Nepal in the first war, I actually built 2 full cannon stacks just to
Yeah,
be able to take multiple battles, and I think it made a big difference actually.
of course it did.
So, and it was at Tech 10, it wasn't at Tech 13 yet.
Both of his victory cards are on Nepal, so that's going to be a hard one to get. And I think that's it for Daivie. Are we ready to move on?
Yeah.
Alright, Malacca. What's happening here? Doesn't look like much has changed from last time. Did you have a word with him, Japan?
Yes.
And how did that go?
King and Malacca declared us on us.
How did that go?
We won, but took some loans, and yeah, they took more because I got the Johor reason, so he can't cross.
Yeah, I don't know why he's keeping his capital there still. He's not getting the estate bonuses, is he? He's not getting the military one. Yeah, definitely should.
Yeah, that's bad.
Definitely should fix this. Get the mill bonus. And you know, seize land on cooldown, especially if you're at 16. You should try and get to 100% as soon as possible, so you can get the manpower exploit. 53,000 manpower, 60 force limit.
I mean, to be fair though, like he got rid of like 11 corruption this session. He was like in a huge debt. He now makes good money and has a positive income. Like I feel like Malacca recovered a lot in the last session.
Yeah, I also think
problem
he could,
still is
be using
yeah.
propagate trade here to get rid of all the Hindu, unless he plans to swap to Hindu.
No, yeah, that might be an idea too. But I feel like the problem is just that Shimazu and Daviet basically grow more. Well, he can just all he can do is catch up, and everybody else is getting ahead, kind of.
He's using formed Asian. I think that now I've seen a lot of people aren't doing is rebels spawn with the tech group that you have. So if you get like the most outdated cav unit, all the rebel cavs that spawn are gonna be of that cav, and they're just gonna be paper troops. So especially if you're not using cav, which you shouldn't be, everyone should be using like the lowest level cav, if that's still a thing. I know I was using that in 1.28. I'm not sure if that's still in the game or not, but I'm pretty sure if you select the lowest cav level, all the rebels that spawn are just gonna be paper troops.
But doesn't the flag up top like annoy you, and you every time you get PTSD thinking, oh god, did I fight the war with?
I just right click it.
But if you right click it and you take up and you forget that it's a new like unit type during a war,
a new one shows up.
It does show up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like let me show you just to make sure. Yeah, let's just do 100. That's gonna, god damn it. Wait for it. What the?
I don't think it shows up. It's like with buildings. Like if you no, if you right click the building thing and you make more money, so now you can also build manufactories and not just workshops. It still doesn't get like it's.
I'm pretty sure
the flags don't reset.
A couple times, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway,
I'm pretty sure it doesn't.
You can just do it manually. Yeah, that's not good.
Which isn't good. He gets free policies. It's just you should spread. I bet would help with the printing press, which he hasn't devved yet. Has he? Has anyone devved?
No. IBJ has it, and I already sold it to Daviet. Daviet has it also.
Yeah, he could.
Can you sell it to me as well?
I can't sell Violet War. Sorry, man.
Oh. What if you started before the war?
What?
I think that it gets cancelled.
I
mean, I would take the money. Not gonna lie.
What other advice do you guys want to give to Malacca? I'm out of
Don't
ideas.
die.
Yeah.
Don't die.
Build a big navy and pray.
Get ideas done. Like that's really it. Should be like.
The next idea gives some naval morale. That can help, but yeah.
I kind of even think that if Malacca wants to survive, the best thing to do at this point is to move its capital to an island, like Kashmak said, and then also to
I've been saying
focus
that since
Diplo, focus Diplo, push through maritime ideas, and maybe like somehow you can get naval superiority. But even then, I feel like Shimazu has so many landing points already that he doesn't even need naval superiority to beat Malacca. So I'm not sure if that's impossible.
Alright, where are his victory cards?
Is that relevant though? Like,
I mean,
is there any way he can get them?
He's got one on Ayatuya, and how Ayatuya is still alive, I don't know. But yeah, like both of his victory cards are on Ayatuya. So I'm just saying.
No, the other one it's like
Oh,
it's
it's
actually
gonna-
on land that he owns in 1444. It's just on Shimazu now.
Yikes. Well, anyway, he could get the victory card just by fighting AI, and I think, even if you end up dying, if you get like a place on the scoreboard, I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, let's move to Nepal and see what happened in the Indian Boogaloo.
Yeah.
200,000 manpower. Oof, my god. That is a chunky force limit right there. No loans. You're ready for war, my guy.
Yeah, I should have taken loans, but I saw there was some good production buildings, so I made those. But that's not worth it.
The thing is, your truce is up and your forts are mothballed. Also,
Yes.
half the forts
Yeah.
are on farmlands, not even
Yeah,
surrounded by
grassland.
Yes.
That's and you
Yeah.
have a lot to jungle here. I guess trusting Leo was a problem there, huh? Because he didn't force it against Leo.
Yeah, I could have made some new forts, but the fort line in the west isn't good. The north and eastern ones are really good, though.
Yeah,
but-
that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
but
Yeah,
the
trusting
western
Leo
one
kind
is
of
not
screwed you over
balanced.
there.
Like if I take the fort, like if I Champur, Tirhut, and Santagon and Gouda are all farmland forts, and if I would be able to take them, I could occupy all of your high def land basically, and then I don't have to
Yeah.
push anymore. I just sit there and say, hey, wanna fight
Yeah.
or wanna like just give up? Because I don't think then you can push back. It's like
But I haven't made all the
set.
conscription centers yet. If I make them, I think I can get my force limit up to about 400.
Is there time for that?
I mean, it takes 1 year for them. I mean,
Yeah,
I can make the troops before it finishes building. It doesn't really matter. Also had to disinherit because I had
yeah.
really.
5 professionalism. That's a very small manpower bank. Yeah, I think it's not really.
Yeah, I don't have much manpower
Yeah.
bank, but
But
I
I
would have
get-
to hire mercenaries.
Yeah, a lot of them, I think.
Yeah, just don't
It's
forget
still
to check
doable.
once before hiring.
Yeah. I mean, it's still doable. I'm not gonna shit on Nepal. It's still a
Also,
really
you
strong
use the
nation.
wrong unit types. There's a mod one that just highlights the better ones.
Yeah, South Indian infantry is the better one because it gives you morale,
No,
isn't it?
the upper-rated musketeers are better. You want the defensive pips whenever possible, especially if you fight with a full backline of cannons.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And same on the cannons. Like, you always have to think like the pips get halved. So if you have an uneven number of pips in a rubric in a category, it doesn't matter for the cannons.
Yeah.
And since the large cannons have in 2 categories 2 pips, they actually project 1 pip to the front line. And the small something cannon only projects 1 morale pip to the front line.
Well, still a very strong country. I definitely wouldn't just
Okay.
Yeah.
So I also have
write
all
it
my
off,
pips
'cause
wrong.
he also has the plus 15 morale mission that he.
I can do the 50 morale, and then I can do the religion, choose deity. I changed it for another 5% discipline.
Oh, 50 morale, that's nice.
But why can you change? How can you change it? Wait, you can change.
You
Is
can
state?
also get
Yeah, it's
morale
state.
from sick as well.
Wait,
Yeah,
where
but
do
then I
you?
would lose.
Where can you change it?
You can take a Brahmin's privilege that lets you change it.
Oh, but your influence is
Number 3, I already have it, so I can change it every 20
okay.
years.
Oh,
That
I
one,
didn't know
yeah. At the cost of 25 legitimacy.
Okay.
What's the legitimacy in your nation?
Yes.
30.
I
Sorry.
mean, if you don't have any
Yeah.
legitimacy, it doesn't really matter anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what
But yeah,
happens.
in the last fight, I had a strict ruler, and he died just before Vijay declared. And then I also lost the deity for another 5% discipline.
I just don't know about allying king. I would try and stay out of the eastern affairs and like appeal to Western allies. I know a couple people that might be interested in not seeing VJ blow up
I
too
mean,
hard.
yeah, I just gotta dip
I mean,
basically everyone.
I want to
Vijay
just.
is number.
I want just to say, like, I think we're about equal in strength. I'm maybe a little bit stronger, but like if Nepal wins
A
war,
little bit
then
stronger.
The
I'm
thing
not
is,
a lot
50%
stronger.
more income. And 50% more
I have more income. Yes, I have
goes
more
a long
income.
way.
Okay. Sure. That's why I would say that I'm stronger. But militarily, I think Nepal is on par with me. He just has less money.
Yeah.
So if he had money, then he would be even scarier than me. Just saying.
like you can appeal
I mean,
to
you were
pretty
the
much
one that
half the
backstabbed
world.
the Turks, so-
Like you have Persia that would want into VJ, you have Ottomans that would want to curb it, you have England that would want the peace.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but the point is, if Persia fights me, I just say, hey Ottomans, why don't you kill Persia?
oh, they're.
But you're number one score, and Ottomans want to win the score.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not saying
Well,
we could do it together,
So,
but if Persia fights me, Ottomans can fight Persia, and I don't think Persia can fight two fronts.
of
I
course
mean,
not.
there's
I'm
almost
just.
a full week left to next session, so a lot of diplomacy can happen.
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Nepal is definitely not dead, and he could deploy to this situation. All right, let's go to VJ and see what's up. Oh, I didn't check buildings, but you know he bankrupted, so I was expecting everything. Yep. So
I
no
did
point-
make the still have a lot of conscription centers to
Jesus.
make. I can make like 60 more, I think.
Yeah, but you're already pretty far ahead of everyone else we've looked at so far.
Yeah, the problem is more the income.
Mm.
400 force limit with only 100 income, isn't that?
Yeah, it's
Super.
not amazing. Your trades. Oof, I fucking hate Nepal trade.
if he takes the next Miltech, how much Miltech would he have left? Millpower would he have left?
Almost 400.
Well, okay, it's a good bank. Yeah, because 15 you want to take it 15 years out of. Oh, I mean that's a bit like.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
like,
do that in time for the
so-
war, anyways.
So if a war happens, you want to be very conservative with your mill points to maybe get Miltech 15 before the enemy.
Yeah, I mean that was also my thinking. I
a
could
big-
wait for Miltech 15.
So same could be said for Vishenega.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
think
really,
I
you
have
get it
even more.
before me though.
I mean,
You
I
do
currently have 614 mill points at the moment, and I'm already tech 14.
Yeah,
Right.
okay, so you're a bit ahead.
What's going on with VJ? Take it away, Leo. Tell me what to look at.
Yeah, I mean, I fought Nepal. I do feel bad about it, but I feel like it had to be done. Basically, I thought there were two options. Option one is I fight him now, or I hackbox with him the whole game. Because he would have been way stronger than me by now if I wouldn't have fought him, I think. Simply because Nepal has way better ideas than I do.
Hmm.
And for example, he has manpower. I don't have national manpower in my ideas.
Yeah, but the land you get
He
there
and he
was,
and he
much
can
better.
yeah, it's better, but it's like I get 100 provinces. He can eat all of like Uzbek, Oirat, then he can kill Daviet and King. Like he has unlimited expansion, whereas I'm kind of boxed in a way. The only one I can fight is Persia. I mean, I could have asked him for help, but even if I eat all of Persia, he's still gonna get more land than me, and I'm always gonna be like the weaker one. So that was my justification, even though I do feel sorry for it. Yeah,
What else is going on?
I don't know what else.
You,
Like, I mean,
you're not the strongest in income anymore, that's for sure. Kind of felt.
no, I have
that.
0 manufactories. Like, all my money went into fighting the red blob and maximizing military strength.
Shameful
and-
display.
Now the good news is, like, I can take, I think, a lot more loans than Nepal at this point. So if he does go for the next bankruptcy war and I go for the next bankruptcy war, I will be able to build a lot more with it. And yeah, that's
Yeah,
kind of
about,
nice.
like 10,000 more in loans you can go.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah, and then I can also, of course, take the like minus interest per annum policy, which is minus 0.5 interest per annum. So I should be able to get, I don't know, like close to 80 loans, I think. And he's also in a golden era, which is like he has the golden era and he has the mission, morale mission. So the next war is gonna be really, really painful.
Yeah, your
But at the
morale
same
is,
time-
pretty behind. Like,
No, it's not actually, because he's at minus 39 prestige and I'm at plus 47. So it's
I mean,
10% morale from prestige that I have on him. I also have more power projection, so I kind of equalize.
You don't have
morale.
my maintenance at full.
yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, I know. I checked it though. Like my morale is at 3.64, and if you pay the full maintenance as Nepal, your morale is at 371. So it's, I
Yeah,
think,
but he also has
slightly
plus
better.
15% from the mission.
Yeah, he gets the mission. That's true. So it's gonna be a painful war, no doubt about that one.
Well, your fort lines. Good.
I have fort line in the south, not in the north. Yeah, like I don't defend the north. If
I mean,
he
it's existing.
is able to push the north, it's fine. But like to get to my capital, you have to push through 2 layers of forts, and I mean that's fine. And even if he gets, like, if he gets to my capital, then it's GG. Like, okay, if it goes that bad, then it's just over. Yeah, like I'm currently pretty much built up. I have some professionalism. I can get like 150,000 more manpower.
This is like the identical situation that happened in season 25 versus VJ in Nepal as well. Don't you remember? Except
I don't, because
it's a bit
it didn't actually-
supersized here.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be a close war, not gonna lie, but
But I think Vishieniga doesn't have his full potential unlocked because he managed his Marathas not perfectly.
yeah, I agree.
You
I
can
kind
get
of
like another 7% discipline and 70% national manpower from them.
yeah,
if you
I
manage
know.
them perfectly.
The problem is I wasn't able to get to 100% crown land because I had to take crown land a few times from my burghers because of the war against Delhi, and then I think I was at 58 or something, and then I went down to 28, and at that point I just kind of
Yeah, at that point, you
Like
just
if
have to reset.
Vishieniga manages to fix that at one point, then it's gonna be a lot scarier.
Yeah, a lot
Like,
more
I mean,
modular.
I can also form Hindustan at some point. I do have all the provinces. Like that's also a reason for the war against Nepal. That's why I have this little snake in the north.
Don't you need that one province from Persia, Tata?
No, there's depending on your culture, there you need different provinces. The only one I still need is Halar, the province from Patalina, my vassal. So I might have to steal it from them, but I mean,
That's not a big deal. Alright,
yeah.
let's move into Persia.
I also want to quick thing. My victory card, my next one, also spawned on
Nepal.
So it's like, yeah.
Never trust Leo. Number 1 on score though. Gonna be number 1 by far when you get that victory card, if you get it.
Yeah, but that's because nobody else has both victory cards. Like it's not. Like I'm falling behind on admin ranking, on Diplo ranking. Like, well, falling behind is maybe a little bit too much, but I'm not number 1. So if somebody has the same amount of victory cards, they're gonna be ahead of me.
Alright, let's look at
Just
Persia.
saying.
What's happening here? He managed to survive his QQ, and I think that should be a reward on its own. I've not seen a lot of QQs survive multiplayer games.
Yeah, I mean he had a kind of friendly VJ and a friendly Ottomans, right? I mean that's something. Delhi helped him against Timurids.
Decent force limit. I've noticed a lot of these countries have the same like force limit, manpower, and yeah, it's all kind of uniform. His morale.
Also, like check Persian vessels. Like it's a bit deceiving. It's bigger than it looks.
Oh yeah, it's
like
got
Transoxiana that has a lot of uncontested cores still, and yeah, Gillen.
Well, I don't know if they're uncontested because they're on Kazakh, and Kazakh is the Russian vessel, and Kazakh also has all this. So that piece is
okay. That one's contested. Yeah. Also, you should take the trade power, especially from Gillen. All those guys that have trade centers in Persia, Shirvan and Gillen both. Could make a lot more money from trade.
I just generally always enable the word trade and just disable it when they go over 50, if you can't, get it otherwise. But I'm pretty sure if you just...
Okay, it once should be enough,
yeah. And you get in a bunch more trade now. He has unfulfilled missions.
He's behind on ideas, which is a big... well, not a big issue, but it's an issue. Once he finishes trade ideas, he's gonna be a good nation.
Yeah, the Persian trade is really, really good.
He should probably even focus Diplo at this point, to be honest. Just focus Diplo, finish trade ideas, then go back to military.
Yeah, and he's losing Diplo over his alliance limit, so he could break with Prussia temporarily.
With Russia and Prussia, and then just attack Ottomans alone. YOLO style.
The Chad move.
Yeah.
He also wants Diplo points to integrate all his vessels, so
yeah. So he shouldn't be wasting.
Focus on Dip is justified. Also, better Dip advisor. It's a +1, +3.
And I mean, he also has a 5 mil king, and he already has 2 mil ideas groups finished. So I feel like mil isn't gonna be the issue.
Yeah.
Like if he gets more money, he can build more buildings. I just feel like trade it's gonna help him so much. He could also do a bankruptcy war against Ottomans, by the way. Like if he has to fight Ottomans, he should maybe build a. But I'm not sure if it's worth it with this little income.
Also, like if he finishes off trade, he unlocks a policy giving him minus 10% construction cost. Combine that with his
yeah,
government that gives him another 15%. 50%. Yeah, then he can spam manufacture. He's very cheap. And then next idea group, economic, take the first 2 ideas of it. That's another 10%. And then he can swing himself ahead by a lot.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he has already popped the mission for the construction cost, like the generic mission. If you stack that on top, like you can really drop down construction costs if you manage it well.
Yeah. But I feel like if Persia finishes trade, doesn't die to Ottomans, doesn't die to like VJ or Russia or
Being
anything.
on the map is already a great achievement.
Yeah, and he has a lot of long-term potential because like the Persian node is gonna be pretty good because like VJ, my main trade node is Coromandel. I'm collecting now in Gujarat, but I don't like have Lahore, for example. He can theoretically fully pull out, or at least to a high
He doesn't
extent.
have any rivals.
Yeah, but if he has his merchants placed later on, Persia is gonna be a really big node. Could even be worth it to make a trade deal for me or for Nepal, whoever wins our wars.
Yeah,
I think that's.
I think he needs
certainly a
to
possibility.
rival both Indians because it's not like he's gonna, or you know, depending on Diplo, whatever happens, he needs to get at least 2 rivals up so he doesn't keep bleeding power projection and get that above 50 to get the mana.
Yeah, but I think it's smart at this point though, like that he didn't rival anybody because now he has options, right? If the new Ottomans play as friendly, he can like rival Russia, Nepal, and Vichy and just like be friends with Ottomans and eat into Arabia. If Ottomans is hostile, you don't want to rival Nepal, Vichy, or Russia because you never know one might be able to help you at some point. And
fair enough.
Then it's
no cannon stack either. He's maintaining 10 cav though. Does Persia get cav bonuses?
Yeah, but it's still cav.
Yeah,
it's 15 cav combat ability.
The problem with cav is it's like almost as high maintenance as cannons, and it's shit. Like you don't get much from it. Like delete the 10 cav and recruit 10 cannons instead. They're much more useful in a war. Like the 10 cannons are gonna be so much more useful than the 10 cav, especially since you don't have a full cannon stack. Like definitely think everyone should be having a full cannon stack by 1570. That's falling behind a lot. So 27 cannons at the present combat width. Everyone should have that.
Yeah, I mean,
and then
tech
29 when you get the tech.
Tech 13 is the latest one. You should go full cannon stack.
Yeah, you should go 29.
Tech 10 you can discuss, but Tech 13 you have to, I think. At least if you're in a player war.
And, I mean, don't be maintaining calves. Like I said, they're not much stronger than infantry, and they're just not worth the maintenance. Like,
I mean, the mud does buff them a decent amount, actually.
Yeah, and he does have some cav mill.
Yeah, the problem is he doesn't have the income for it. If he was richer, he could have gone cav.
Yeah, on the point of income, he should consider mothballing his forts if he has, or at least his inland forts around,
yeah, all of these can be mothballed.
And like all the inland ones are not going to be rushed. Like the border forts, okay, you can justify them if you are bordering a nation that you don't fully trust, like Vichyeniga, but the inland ones, mothball them. It's 0.5.
Yeah, but actually those forts are also, like, that was a good point. I think PTC made it after last session. Like, it's stupid for both me and Persia to have forts there, because if we get backstepped and attacked there, they can just assault them instantly and we lose them. And they're gonna be more of a hassle to take back than they're gonna be for the enemy to actually take them at first. So
yeah, I had an experience playing Timurids like that. Some of these forts you might want to pull back a little bit because, like Leo said, you get backstabs, they're gone, and it's gonna be so much harder for you to take them back. I would pull like this one, for example. You know, Ottomans can take it in a month. It's gonna be much harder for you to take it back.
I mean, a good example is for a perfect fort placement is in Persia's east, like to Vichy, like the Balm fort, because to get there I have to walk like 3 months or something, and it's realistic that he can actually protect it.
Yeah, and if he occupies all of this shit, it's pointless. Like
versus my Kalat fort, which is like he just has to move there from the neighboring province, and there's no way I can rush there. So like the Balm fort is good, the Kalat fort is stupid. Like
and then you get like point is, after he assaults it and takes it, like you get the mountain fort, and you could just hold that and bleed his manpower. Draw.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have, like if he takes Kalat, he can just fall behind it again and no problem. It's gonna be hard for me to get it back, but
Yeah.
to take it at first is gonna be easy. Like maybe not easy. Like if I randomly have like 100k troops next to it, then okay, maybe not. But
Randomly.
I mean,
Alright.
yeah, like if let's say I killed some rebels like two provinces away and I'm able to march there in time, then obviously, like if you get caught during an assault, it's horrible, but the chances are really low that that's happening. So
Alright.
yeah,
That's about
but
it. for
Persia's in a
Persia.
good spot, I think. Where are his victory cards?
He's the 20th in score.
He has one on me and one he already
He's holding
owns.
one,
Okay.
but it's not fully ticked yet. So when that ticks up, he should get a lot out of it.
Yeah, and I want to say, like, you can have a happy game only owning one victory card. You don't really need two. Just saying.
Yeah.
You can have a happy game like in the top 15. Owning one.
I mean,
victory.
I think top 5 is possible if you don't own all your victory cards. Like, if you just own some. Like, if you want to be number 1 or number 2, you need all, obviously. But
Yeah. Alright,
I
let's
think
see
after that, it's not.
Kilva next. Oof, good money. Good money. Force limit a bit down, manpower a little lower than everyone else we've looked at, but he doesn't have... Oh, he has quantity finished. But he's gone trade.
Dangerous.
Yeah, pretty dangerous move, but you know, it is what it is now because he's already flew through it. It's not like he's gonna get rid of it. And I've also heard that he's fucking over VJ on trade, so...
I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily fucking over. Like, he only takes like 8% or so from Coromandel. But I talked about him, about like getting rid of the merchant there, and then he basically told me either I have to pay or I can
Yeah,
go
and that's why I said like
fuck
it's a
myself.
bit dangerous to deploy ideas and piss off like VJ. Like, yeah, that's a bit.
I mean, I don't think pissing off VJ is a problem for him because I'm never gonna invade him. Just feel like once Great Britain or somebody who wants his trade comes around from like
Yeah.
Europe, then I would be interested in defending him usually because after he loses his trade to Great Britain, I'm gonna lose my trade to Great Britain. But if he's like
he's,
annoying
got
to me,
better
then I'm just
advisors
gonna
now.
say, hey, okay, die, kid. So I also gave him some money earlier to colonize and stuff. Like, I kind of was nice to him, so it's a little bit annoying. But
I think
then again,
you are
not gonna
complaining about Coromandel node. You can never lock it down properly. It's just
I'm
it
not
goes
saying-
in 3 directions. It's always going to be leaking like hell.
sure, it's always gonna be leaking. I'm not gonna complain. But he has 15 trade ships there and a merchant, so if he wouldn't put his merchant and trade ships there, it wouldn't be leaking as much. It's only like 2.5 ducats, so I'm not sure. Like, he gets not that much money out of
Alright.
it, but
let's not get
Still
stuck on
annoying.
the.
yeah, like it's
Yeah,
a minor issue. It's
in
just
the-
the only
Indian
Diplo
trade
Kilva really has
shit.
to care about, right? Like,
He's got 0 power projection. I think he should be caring about that, especially since Congo rivaled him now.
Congo was AI.
Oh.
Congo AI,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't read too much into that.
he could rival Malacca though.
Yeah, he could
Yeah,
rival
but-
Malacca
If-
and get
If
some power
if Congo
projection from
is
that.
if Congo is a rival, he can rival back and do a humiliate for
Also,
a quick.
on the topic of Congo, we need a new perm player for it. So if anyone wants to
Yeah.
join, if not, Congo's gonna die as AI next session.
I talked with one of my friends to join us Congo.
Oh, that
I'm
would be
not sure if
amazing.
you're gonna take it.
It's a pretty solid country. I'll show it in a sec. Anyway, anything else we want to say about Kilva?
I mean, he still has a decent position, so
Yeah.
should be fine. Can eat into like he already actually has a few vessels, by the way.
Yeah, so his
So
vessels are...
he could push into Yemen and maybe make a deal with Ottomans. I don't know.
Yeah, like the rest, Gulf of Aden and Ethiopia would be a lot of money for him. But kind of depends on what Otto wants. Maybe even Persia wants Gulf of Aden.
What Mali wants.
Annoy too many people, but he could think about a northern expansion.
Yeah, well, you know, at the same time, you don't want to annoy too many people, but you ran out of expansion here, and you have to do something. Otherwise, those people are going to come and kill you, like in a session or two. Annoy them or not, you know, that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
So you want to strengthen your position as well. and sometimes you have to tread in some toes. So Congo was AI. I'll just look at it real quick. It'll get some fixes obviously, but we're looking for a new player for it. I think we can swap defensive for something else, because that was AI pick.
Yeah.
And get it some points to compensate. But yeah, we need a new Congo player for next session. Alright, let's look.
I mean, I don't know if we have to give away too many points, because since AI gets some cheat bug stuff, I think it's actually in a good spot.
We didn't look at
Maybe some money to build up buildings. That might be
we
better.
didn't look at Kilwa's victory cards, and I'm only seeing one. Does he not have the second one? Does not exist.
Maybe he wasn't able to spawn anything else, because you can also only spawn it on possible rivals.
But
So as
look
soon as he's bordering Congo, he's gonna get his victory card.
Oh no,
on
his
Congo.
victory card's in Australia.
Yeah, that's why he colonized it.
Okay. So he just needs to take it from Malacca, and then he's getting.
Wait, does this count though? If it's on your colonial subject, if your
I'm
colonial subject owns the victory
100%
card,
sure
do you get the
it
points?
counts. I can try and see. So. It's own, right?
It's own underscore core. You need to core it as well. Uncore definitely
Or-
doesn't.
Yeah, add underscore core, and then you get the core.
Is that the whole victory card? Is that the whole state?
Oh, and the other province is still unfinished colony. Core that as well. Then the top province.
Two of them. How do I finish the colony? Just own core?
Just own core as well. That works. Works.
Okay, I mean, let's hope that works. So, let's tag back into Kilba. Four provinces. Currently we have 0. Yeah, I don't know if it counts as... If his subject has it out. It doesn't look like it does count. Because it says he owns 0.
No, the one in the south is still a colony too, though.
Yeah, 3 of them are colonies, but one of them isn't, and it says that he owns 0 of them.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's gonna get score for that. Kilba must control and have cord. So how would... Are we gonna have to save fix that, or what? Because
I don't know if we can say fix that.
that's pretty
How
fucked.
can you switch victory cards through?
I don't know, I just think that's pretty fucked up that his...
I mean, we're gonna have to see,
2000
like,
victory
if
cards.
like maybe you have to unpause or something. So I would say let's just see if it
Alright,
if
I'll
it
unpause
goes
real
away
quick.
or not.
What the fuck happened here? It decolonized it.
What?
Yeah, then make it own again, like add core on proper and tough number, and then
It still says 0 out of 4 though, but I'll try.
I think you. Yeah,
That's
okay, and
cool
now
Yeah, and then it's going
wait,
away to his
now-
colony once.
you have to wait one more day, yeah, and then it's gonna.
Also, recall and abandon that, just so they're colonized fully. Because why can't I abandon this?
Because you have a core on it, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't focus too much on the.
Because your colonial nation is the one colonizing it.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think we should stop here. We have a lot of other nations to discuss.
Oh yeah,
Just-
yeah. I just gonna check here, and then I'm gonna load back the save real quick. Yeah, it's... I don't know what we're gonna do with that, because he's not getting anything from that victory card. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, and no one of the provinces is green. Yeah, you're right. Kind of strange.
We might have to fix that somehow, and make sure that they get those provinces.
Or we can move his victory card. I mean,
If
it's
you
on
I'll take a
Malacca,
look at
so it's
I
on
mean, if you
Malacca,
can-
so we could move it to another state of Malacca that's not a colonial area.
I mean, I think that
something
might be
like
too far, but if you can like just remove it and get it to spawn randomly again, that would be a good idea.
It would be spawned there again though, because it's the only possible state. Like, you have to be a possible rival and you have to border him, and that's the only way you can spawn a victory card, and that's the only place it can spawn at the moment.
I just think that's really stupid that they would let that stay in the game. Anyway, let's look at Mali now. We stayed in Kilbo for too long.
Yeah,
that's
good
chunk-
income, very good income.
Very chunky
What's his
income.
force limit?
His force limit is 172, 173 manpower, and
A lot of professionalism.
yeah. Mali's in a very good spot. Mali's
Yeah.
ready to fucking kick ass, and he has a cannon
Um,
stack like a true Chad.
The thing is, like, he should get morale from somewhere. Because I was fighting Mali in Morocco, and thing is, like, I was beating him 2-1, or like he was barrage assaulting my fort with 30k men, and he failed the assault because he was so far behind in morale. Like, you don't have
Yeah,
to
he's
be
on, like,
insane morale, but
3.3
you need some
when he
morale.
does maintenance. When he brings maintenance up, he's on 3.3. So it's
Yeah,
not,
3.3 is nothing
yeah, it's
right
not
now.
great. And he doesn't
Four,
have-
like, it should be around 4. Like, if you're at the
Well,
lower end.
To be fair, it's almost the same as Vichy and Nepal have. Like,
yeah, but I don't
Yeah.
see any way he can bring it up. Maybe he could get the morale advisor, but I don't know if that's worth over a discipline advisor either.
He should not pick next offensive. For him, more important is either patriotic or defensive, or pick a religion that gives him morale.
Yeah, that's a good point. He could religion swap.
Or
yeah, Shia
no,
maybe.
he doesn't have, like, he's Sunni. Like, if he expects to fight a lot of non-Sunni, he could go to the Lemma and grant them. There's a privilege giving you +5 morale if you fight heretics and heathens.
Yeah, but he could also just flip to Shia, right? I mean, it's the better religion,
It's
anyways.
just flip to Shia.
I
It
mean,
sounds
he
so
could do
easy,
both.
but it's not very easy.
You gain
Doesn't-
mysticism. You gain mysticism by punching other Sunni countries, right?
Yeah, which
Yeah.
Sunni
So
country?
I think you need to leave a Sunni country around, and just punch them on truce to farm mysticism, and that's gonna bring your morale up if you farm it up. But it's just like, can you release something and then hit on that? I don't know. That's a strategy people use to farm mysticism normally. If you can release an OPM or something and then just declare on it every time that truce expires.
Yeah, but I think that's the best way for him to strengthen his military, get more morale in there.
Yeah, because he's only missing morale. His country is amazing in every other aspect,
Yep.
and he's ready to take
He's-
up to 14 as well. So
How's he doing on institutions? Does he have institutions threat from someone?
he devved
Yeah,
it,
he got a share. Okay, he doesn't have it present
oh no,
enough.
yeah, I got it shared.
He does have it. He does have it in his capital.
Yeah, but not 10% of his nation.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to take it instantly. He can wait,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah,
Dev,
and he has the
he's not
money.
gonna. He's not gonna have a big war soon anyway, so you can just spend the points on deving. Keep enough in the bank so
maybe
you can.
take up in one category, so you keep up innovativeness.
Yeah.
Okay, 2.2 innovativeness. Never mind, that's not worth it.
No, he has 7.9, I thought.
I think Mali is in an excellent spot. Let me see his
Yeah.
victory cards. He's the 15th on score, which is with a strong country like this, you shouldn't be.
No.
Yeah, he should go for those.
They're both
Where
his
should he
allies. Is
expand
the problem.
to?
I would definitely say get your victory card somehow. Portugal for one doesn't need this land because Portugal normally tries to snake around and just like, try and fight in South Africa or something. So offer him like colonies here or something. But you should try and take this and just kick the British out because never trust Ottoman.
Yeah, just pick it out. It's okay. He declares for it, sits on it, and how is he gonna get to 50% to at least tap it? For it?
Yeah. Also, Britain
Portugal.
is allied to Aztec, so.
With Portugal, he can just walk over and occupy all of Maghreb because Spain's going to join that war, and then he's going to get 50%.
No, we're talking about GB taking his victory card
Oh
from
yeah, with
GB.
GB, it's
That's gonna be like not gonna happen. Like
Yeah,
unless GB lets him.
No, never gonna happen, I think, yeah.
yeah, with GB is a different story, but with Portugal, he can definitely occupy the
Yeah.
Maghreb.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a tough situation. I'm just saying he has a really strong country, but he's behind on
Yep.
score, and he should try and fix that if he plays for score. You know, some people just don't care about the score, but we're playing for score this campaign, so you know. Anything else we want to say or look at here?
Oh, nice crownland.
Yeah, keep
See,
seizing your crownland. Get it to 100%. I
No,
think you know.
don't do it yet. The thing is, like what I said, like he should give the Lemma the morale privilege if he fights non-Sunnis.
Oh yeah.
Scroll down.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that one.
But that doesn't.
Because that's gonna
that
be
doesn't
like a
disrupt
bit
the
bad on the
crownland at all.
morale. It doesn't give crownland, but it gives
No.
influence.
Yeah, so just push up crownland to 100, and then feed all of your land to the emirs, and you're gonna get a bunch of manpower back when you choose the privilege, which you don't have at the moment, but you should. So basically, what you do is you get to 100 crownland, you give the privilege to the emirs. That gives them manpower. That gives you manpower based on the percentage of crownland they own, and then every time you click sale of titles, only the emirs are gonna get land because everyone else is 0%, and that's how the game works for some reason. So you sell titles, emirs get 10%, you lose 10%, and you gain like 15% manpower every fucking time it happens, and it's just insane. And you should get to like 30% crownland and 70% emirs, and at that point you're going to be getting 80% bonus manpower, which is, you know, for just playing the privileges right, that is insane. That's like more than an idea group gives you. So I think that's really important that everyone does that because it's just insane how strong it is. Alright, next up. Or do we want to look at... He had really good forts last time. Yeah, he still does. So yeah, I don't think Mali's in any danger. It's just he's stuck. And if you can... If we can go take a colonist, the next idea is bridge this and go into Ethiopia.
He doesn't
You get a lot of free dev basically.
even need idea group for that because like if you finish your fourth idea group, you get a policy for colonist
You get a policy?
that you can use like to bridge to Morocco and to Darfur. Like if you take tech 14, tech admin tech 14, and now look at the policy. Like grant anything there, doesn't matter, and then look at the policies.
I did not know
And
that.
the depot and that, yeah, that
yeah.
says.
So I mean, you could also just get not exploration, but which is the one with the
Expansion, yeah, the first
expansion.
one, yeah.
Just sacrifice 400, you know, admin on it, but you know it's not necessary because you can just rush through an idea group, bridge this, and then you get a lot of dev here. That's gonna be relatively uncontested because I don't think Otto is gonna want to fight you for that.
Yep. Or like bridge the way down to Congo.
Yeah, and then bridge the way down to Congo, bridge the way to Kilwa, like unite Africa and do a Wakanda Forever game.
I mean,
Like,
you don't have to colonize the Congo though. You can just claim his land.
Yeah, but it's annoying if like GB puts a colony in between there. That means you can't just walk from one part of the country to the other.
Yeah, so try and colonize these two as soon as possible before someone else fucks you over. You're the strongest in Africa by far, and you can literally unite the continent just by bridging like 3 provinces. So I would go for the one with I would go for expansion, to be honest, because it's kind of urgent. Because any of the colonizers can be a cunt and just pop a colony down here, and then you can't just split in two. You know, like you're never gonna get that back from England. If England puts a colony here, you're never gonna get that. Like you're never gonna win a war.
Declare GB before colony finishes and then seize the colony.
Oh yeah, if he starts colonizing, seize the colony. But you know, it's also like you're gonna have to fight GB for dev. But yeah, it is what it is. Just don't let them bridge this, and you should be fine because you're definitely the strongest in Africa, and you can get all of this shit free basically. Anyway, next up, we're looking at Otto. Okay. Yes, I get a little bit of a lightheadedness every time I look at Otto in these podcasts, because I'm just like sitting here thinking, damn, he could mark this up north, and I'm just like out of the game. It would not be a fun time.
I think Ottomans try to mess with too many people, like taking Poland and Lithuania as subjects.
Oh yeah, he's antagonized everyone, and that's how he declared on me last session, and I managed to survive purely because he's made enemies out of everyone.
Yeah, like look at like he could eat all of Ethiopia, all of Gulf of Aden. It's free real estate for him.
Yeah.
But no, he must fuck around with Prussia and Russia.
Yeah.
I mean, he has fun war from there, yeah, but I don't think it's gonna benefit him long term, having done that.
Yeah, but we're also getting a new Ottoman player now, so I think he might do different Diplo,
Yep.
because staying peaceful with Prussia and Russia is definitely a good idea, especially since now we saw that we can beat him, and that was without Persia. So if he's messing around next time, we're gonna call in Persia too, and that's pretty much GG for Otto.
Also, it was pre-Tech 15 when the Western and Eastern Tech finally catch up on infantry unit pips.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm not sure if it's smart to call in Persia though, because before you guys can reach Persia, he's gonna be 100% in Persia,
No,
and then
not
he
what
can just
happened.
snap
Not what
at him
happened last
out.
time, because last time we called in Persia, and that was a rule break, so Persia had to white piece out. But
Yeah, but
basically,
you couldn't call him in instantly either. Like if you immediately call him in, he just doesn't fight you guys. He fights Persia and instead stabs him for 50% and then turns around and fights you guys.
you also have to understand that Prussia has, like, Prussia was sieging down forts in less than a month. He
Yep.
has amazing unit quality, and by the time Otto was done with that, we were in Constantinople. We sieged the strait, and we managed to
X-Tech
snap
is
at him.
forts. I don't think they're gonna fall in a 1 month. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, but you know, if he manages to build those in time.
So you're going
Yeah.
from early session.
Well, it
I mean,
all depends on
it's gonna be
Diplo, 'cause,
interesting.
like I said, it's
It's
a
gonna be
new
interesting
player,
who ends
so
up on Ottomans.
it's a new player, so we're gonna have to do Diplo and see. But you know, if he's playing it like Variance was and antagonizing everyone around, we're probably gonna have to go to war. But yeah, he's second on score, and realistically, he's gonna take over Leo real quick because
Yeah.
he's gonna get his victory
Yes.
card at the start of the session.
He has way more income also, and he has like a huge amount of troops,
He has an
great
insane
ideas,
force
great
limit.
things. Like
Yeah.
Ottomans is the strongest nation,
I
obviously.
mean, you say he's gonna get his victory card at the start of next session. Like it's a week away. A lot of people can happen. I would not
Yes.
count on anything.
What else do we look at here?
Alliances maybe.
He has an alliance with Italy, an alliance with Mali. I think the Mali alliance is to protect Spain against Aztec and France, and the Italy one is just
No.
Being wholesome, I guess.
yeah.
He doesn't have 50 army power projection though.
Oh, weak.
He could just insult someone, to quote Kashmak.
No, he can't actually, because I think he used all of those. Oh, he can insult France, but
Yeah.
I think he was just waiting to dip out because he was busy last session, and I think
Yeah.
that's why.
Yeah.
But even
Huge
if
force
insult,
power bank. He should definitely build up a bit of professionalism so he can select at least once or twice. I think.
I mean, he was fighting wars though,
Yeah,
right?
he was fighting war. Yeah, but like if the new player gets on it, I think it should be prior number one. Get a manpower bank, so he's not instantly dry after 1 or 2 battles.
yeah.
Also drilling with 100k on Constantinople with 16 cav. Yeah, don't know what to think about that.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why he's drilling the cannons, but I don't know about the cav. Very low amount of Janissaries, which I don't know.
He could vassalize Austria after Italy annexes the remaining provinces, because Austria is more than 100%.
Yeah, that would be pretty smart.
Going heavy on Janissaries hurts you long term because they cost 10 mil.
Yeah, I wouldn't build many Janissaries TBH. I don't think it's worth it.
Maybe like one front line for the cannons, like for your main sieging stack, maybe you can justify that. So you have 27 Janissaries and then the rest is normal units. So your cannon stack survives a bit longer before you have to reinforce it. But going full 180 Janissaries means 1,800 mil points. That's a lot of mil death, a lot of manpower you could have.
Yeah, you can go into an insane amount of death as well. So, very strong nation, very very scary. I don't know if he's played it better than PTZ. I think he has because we've had the worldwide seeding this game. What do you think, Leo? Is this Ottoman stronger than the season 25 one?
I would say no.
Yeah, I
would
don't
say
think so.
At this point in the game, at 1570?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, in the other game you had a Mughals, which was kind of rivaling him. You had a like pretty strong Russia, which was a lot. I mean,
Mughals was hugboxing him in the 25
yeah,
game.
yeah,
But,
you had
but in this season, you have a strong Central European, that's a Prussia, which
yeah,
is
but in the last one you had a super strong Austria, and he kept on fighting it.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that this Ottomans could like if he had as many heavy wars with Prussia and Russia as PTC's.
Ottomans had, yeah.
I think he would not be like. I think this one is weaker than the one from.
Yeah, I
PTC.
completely agree.
Alright, let's move on
Still
to
a
Russia.
super strong one. Like it's like cherry picking. It's like arguing. Like I don't know.
So, my biggest
it's
accomplishment is that I survived so far. He declared, and I managed to ally Prussia and Persia against him, and we managed to win. My victory was just money and war reps because I couldn't really take any land. I was just trying to stab hit him out because before he won the war, because he went through the steps and sieged all of this down, and we still had I think 60 war score, but we were really quickly gonna lose that. So I just had to stab hit him for money and get out of that war. But yeah, Russia's in a better position than I was in the previous couple sessions. Definitely recovering now. 232 force limit, 172k manpower, and that's only going to rise because I don't have any buildings yet. I've been as poor as I have been for the entire game, but like no buildings for force limit, and I'm gonna quickly remedy that on the start of the next session. Same for manpower. I'm thinking of doing a bankruptcy build, and with that I can go, what's that, 43,000 in debt. So pretty much build up the entire nation in one bankruptcy build, and that's gonna give me a huge power spike. And
I think what would help you a lot is to kill Kazan. Kazan has trade ideas and just eats away at your trade income. Because it sits in Kazan's and it's like in your trade line, you can't circumvent it. So
yeah, I am working on beating up the hordes now. I was planning on doing that last session, but because of the war, it kind of screwed up my plans. And I was also focusing on chipping away Finland's mine, and I was focusing on chipping away at Sweden before England and Prussia got too much. So that was my priorities. But yeah, I think Kazan, and then just like going into Samarkand, I also vassalized Kazakh, which gives me all of these cores.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking if I survive, I'm gonna have a huge power spike next session.
Do you want to elaborate on your relations with Persia? Because Transoxiana, the Persian vessel, has cores on your vessel.
The thing that happened here is Kazakh didn't exist. I got this province and I released it, and then the next month all of this released as Kazakh as well. I have no fucking clue how. I think they had rebels and the rebels like enforced, but literally the next month after I vassalized it. So then I got all of this shit for free, and now we're debating what we're gonna do with it, because the original plan was to have this divider here, but now I have all these cores, so we're gonna figure that out. But yeah, the Persian alliance was 100% just to not get stumped in by the Otto, and now that we're getting a new Otto player, all of that is changing, because you know I have to talk to the player and see what his Diplo is gonna be like and all that shit, you know.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely still a lot of dev to eat here in the steppes, and a lot of dev to eat in the east, with King falling apart and what everything is happening in China. So
China.
I would say.
Do you see Nepal going north though? Like he's gonna. You guys gonna touch tips soon, I guess.
Hey, like I said with the Ottomans, best friends always touch tips, and
okay.
It worked out with the Ottomans. I bet it's gonna work out with Nepal. We're gonna have a little friendly tip touching here somewhere, I think, and yeah, nothing but good things are gonna come from that. Shut up. Victory cards. I got it on Ottomans, so I don't know what I'm gonna do about that, but I'm definitely playing for score, and we're gonna have to figure that out. Even without the second victory card, I'm already at fourth score and it's taking up. But you know, when people start getting their second one, I'm gonna fall behind exponentially. So that's gonna be a problem. If anyone has any advice for Mother Russia, now would be a good time, and I would greatly appreciate it.
Has Prussia taken trade? Or did you trade?
Offensive echo quantity.
Okay. I mean, just you could do a trade deal of some sort.
Yeah,
get
but I
some,
think trade that flows into Lübeck straight on goes into the English Channel.
Yeah, it might.
Yeah, because Great
I mean-
Britain's got a chunky.
Yeah, maybe you could do a trade deal with both Prussia and
But-
GP, but that's
GP and
Russia-
Scotland.
Russia doesn't usually need a trade deal though, right? Novgorod is an insanely good trade.
yeah. But how much does she make there? I mean, it must be
I'm
low
only
since it's
making
tilted.
18. But yeah, it's low because, like Nibor
Because
said,
he doesn't own,
it's
you
because
don't
of
own
Kazan.
Kazan yet.
Oh,
Once
and
you own
I
Yeah,
don't
Kazan,
know
no,
Kazan.
no Astrakan.
So
Yeah,
that's the
okay.
problem. I only own Kiev, and you know, I haven't managed to dev or build anything. So, pretty poor nation, but I think I can fix that in one session. And even pretty poor, it's still 111 income, which is on the upper layer. I think I'm top 7 on income, so I've managed to recover from how shitty the country was to begin with. I think I managed to recover a lot last session.
yeah.
And I got Finland for my mission, so I'm pretty good now. Where's the mission thing? Conquer Finland. Wait, is that only for
On
Muscovy?
the left side, it's the fourth.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty important one from Russia, and yeah, when I finish up this part of Sweden, I'll get that in bank, so it should help me out with the war. And morale's decent because I have very high army tradition because I've been just fighting non-stop this entire game. And yeah, that's about it for Russia. And yeah, 52 power projection because I'm a Chad and pro gamer. It's
Yeah.
50 Prussia now.
Prussia is insanely strong. Let me just say this.
Yeah.
I would say he's already closing in on the Ottoman. No, well, maybe not because his force limit is so much lower. But
His force
Two
limit is
points
so
is
much lower,
crazy.
but his while we were fighting Ottomans, he was basically winning the war on his own. Like, let me just say that much. And I think Prussia, after next session, will be the strongest nation in Europe, and he has an insane amount of professionalism. So
he has high manpower. He has a crazy good income for early Prussia,
yeah.
and it's still kind of early. So, and I think he doesn't have military force limit buildings and stuff either yet. So once he starts building those, it's just gonna go crazy. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna be a 300 force limit, 150 ducats income next session, and then
I forgot to look at institutions in Europe. Ottomans doesn't have it yet. I got it shared, I think, and Prussia has it.
has
Can
it already.
embrace.
Is he sharing it? To
Can
me?
embrace.
I forgot. Oh no, he didn't embrace yet.
Um,
He can embrace for 600, so he should probably do that. But you know.
Yeah, and
Or
he
might
just
tell
gonna
people what
have
to
continuously 6 mil rulers from now on. So he's gonna keep on being able to def mill a shit ton.
Dude,
So
this
Yeah.
dynasty is
his
fucking
manpower
cursed.
pool, even without quantity, is already one of the highest in the world. So
Yeah.
I think only Ottomans and maybe France beat him, but then
It's because
they
his
have
dev-
quantity and he doesn't have quantity. So that's
yeah,
Nice
I'm not sure about
nicely back.
Vicha and Nepal, but I think we're close too. But
He's dev this country really well. I just.
Yep.
It's all done really well, and now that Sweden quit the game, it's gonna give him all of this, and
yeah, he would have gotten it anyway, though. Let's be honest.
yeah.
Now the question is, can he expand into Holland or Switzerland or Bohemia or something like that? Because if he can, then he's gonna be unstoppable.
Yeah,
If he can,
Austria died, and that's pretty much on the agenda now. I'm pretty sure he already has a truce with Bohemia, and I don't think Italy's gonna be trying to steal land from him. So his main contestant is gonna be Switzerland. I'm pretty sure. I don't know what the diplo between the two of them is. I see they rivaled each other, so I'm expecting a war next session. Just speculating.
I think Prussia, one more session, and Prussia is gonna be the strongest nation in Europe.
Yeah, and probably in the world too, because it's just nuts how strong he is, how strong his army are. He's got the victory card on Ottomans, and I was supposed to grab that for him in the war, but this little fucking province got occupied by rebels before I was able to send the last stab hit, and I couldn't demand the province, so or the state. So that kind of fucked us a little bit, and I was really sad. But anyway, Prussia doing really well. What's his idea or mission? Oh, that's a pretty good one. Alright, let's move on to Italy and then we'll do Switzerland. Rep Austria. The problem with Austria was, I just think, lack of Diplo. And I mean, we're thinking of buffing it a little more for the following sessions, but I think just here it was just a pure lack of Diplo. He had 0 allies. And as Austria, you don't want to put yourself in that situation. And he didn't really. What Octa did masterfully in 25 was he vassalized everything in the HRE and had little bits of land everywhere and then expanded from that. He didn't do any of that, and I don't think this Austria was played properly, and I think that was the problem. I don't think the Austria is necessarily got nerfed too hard. I just think
it's also that every campaign goes a little bit different. Like sometimes a country does well and sometimes doesn't do well, except for Ottomans who always does well, but like sometimes you have a strong Great Britain, sometimes Great Britain actually also is one of those countries which also always does well, but like Poland can die or it can be strong, like Austria can be strong, but like if you expect every nation to every time be good, otherwise it needs a buff, then I feel like we have to buff everything after every time.
Alright, Italy has built way over his naval force limit. I wonder why that is. I can't guess why he's building all these ships. His army.
Wait, for us non-Europeans, maybe you can tell us why.
Well,
because...
are you looking at the screen?
Ah, okay, now I understand. Is this his victory card?
I don't think so, but still, it must be annoying. Both of his victory cards are an extra.
I can elaborate on it. GB was privateering in Venice and in Constantinople at one point.
Yeah, so I don't think GB's...
he made himself a lot of friends in the Mediterranean with that, but how touching GB, like not liking GB is one thing. Actually being able to hurt GB is different.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because even if you grab all 3 of these, you're not going to be able to stab hit. You can just like take exhaustion, but it's going to be
but the point is you're going to win the naval battle against Great Britain. And you can...
Well, if
you are. Like if he builds enough galleys, he can beat this because he gets all the naval combat ability. Great Britain is Irish ideas Britain, so I think Italy is in a inland sea. He's comparable. Like look at his ability, like national ideas. I mean, he gets galley combat ability. I think 15 or 20.
Yeah, 15. Oh, 20 for galleys.
Yeah, and cost of galleys minus 15%. Then he can build a galley combat flagship. He can the naval like how do you call it, doctrine?
He has an heavy for a flagship. But
but it's still like he has combat within stuff, I would assume. So like he can just build a shit ton of galleys, and I don't think Britain's gonna want to have like. I mean, galleys, you have to outnumber the heavies by a lot, but a galley costs like 8 ducats with the.
But GB also have 40 galleys.
The thing is, like.
Yeah, but his galleys are way stronger than yours.
Why should GB engage Italy in inland seas?
Yeah, but then I know that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying, like, if that war would happen, like Great Britain would lose way more than Italy. Financially, and also like you would lose battles long term.
Like GB would just get occupied and do shit in the rest of the world, and as long as
but then Italy marches to Holland, occupies all of Holland, which is gonna cost a shit ton of money for Great Britain to have Holland occupied. If it's not even 50% with occupation of Borgol. In addition,
Irish ideas gives him a weaker navy, but gives him a stronger army.
Yeah, but
and also GB has allies.
So,
does Italy not have allies? Ottomans, for example.
Are they willing to fight a war against GB? it's just going to be annoying for
I
decades.
mean, if Ottomans is pirating Constantinople and losing those 3 islands means he won't be able to pirate Constantinople, then if I was Ottomans, would certainly send 100k troops north, because
Yeah.
it's not the Ottomans doesn't have to send his whole army. If he sends a third with Italy, it should be enough, and then you get to not get pirated anymore. So I think
Alright,
that's worth it.
back to his
Never.
victory
I'm
cards.
declaring right now. I will never, at any point, pirate Constantinople.
Didn't you do it already?
Yes, but not anymore.
Okay. Well, if you trust Octa, then that's good enough. But
You know the good old.
Okay.
okay.
Already drawn to
He
Diplo.
has one of his victory cards already, and the other one is in Switzerland. His Diplo is allied to Otto, Portugal, and Spain, and his rivals are presumably biggest rivals are Switzerland and France right now, because France still holds big parts of Italy like Milan and the mountain passes, which I guarantee he wants to secure, because that's
Yeah.
the priority is
So
Italy. France also
Just a
owns
quick
Naples.
question.
Yep.
Is Spain, Italy, and Ottomans actually hugboxing each other? Like, are they all allied to each other?
Yes.
Spain, Italy, and Ottoman. Yep. No, Spain isn't
Yikes.
directly allied to Ottomans anymore, but they were. The reasoning behind that was that France was getting too strong, and Ottomans wanted to keep his #1 spot.
I mean, look at it. Spain is allied to Italy and Mali, both of which are Ottoman allies.
Yeah.
So-
Like, that is a
Oh,
four-nation
that's-
hugbox, basically.
There is a big
Yeah.
hugbox here, and you know those don't last for very long. France just needs to be a little more patient. and
I think
eventually
it's
gonna
different. They
dissolve.
tend to last long enough until everybody else is dead, so it ruins the game for everybody else, and then they break. But at that point, everybody's games is already ruined.
Well, I don't know about that, because if they keep hugboxing too much when they start getting victory cards on each other, it's gonna screw them over. But for now, they've been pretty lucky, because yeah.
It's 100 years until they get next victory card.
Yes, 80, but yeah.
Well, Mali already
So-
has a victory card in Portugal, so that might be a little.
I don't think Portugal can play for score here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Sorry. Yeah.
All right. So, Italy.
Let's go to Swiss. Yeah, good income, but not super overpowered. Like, he could have more income, I think. I'm not sure if defensive ideas. I disagree with defensive ideas. Like, I think plutocratic is better than quantity. I think that it was a big misplay for me to pick quantity instead of plutocratic, because you just get, like, plutocratic gives you 20% manpower and 20% force limit, versus quantity, which gives you 40 of each. But plutocratic gives you goods produced, it gives you morale, it gives you like a bunch of other stuff too.
People need to
But-
insult their rivals. It's It's
But
getting-
defensive, I really dislike TBH. Like, I don't know. I feel like
He was in a lot of early game wars, and
It's
very
better.
early wars, the 50 morale really helps. But I think more pressing.
yeah,
is
but
that
again,
he will take by a
sure,
lot.
but plutocratic is 10% morale instead of 15. But you also get 20% force limit and 20% national manpower recovery, I think. So I feel like even in that case, I would still go plutocratic.
Yeah, fair point.
And plutocratic also gives it pretty early. I think it's the second idea is the morale. Yeah. So,
Okay.
and you get more mercenary discipline also, which in early game wars is also kind of useful.
Oh,
So
ready to switch to Switzerland now?
No, the thing is for Italy, he has to get his crown land up so he gets negative ticking autonomy. Like, he has autonomy everywhere. Like, it's not like everywhere 30, 40, but 10, 15, all this, not zero numbers that really hurt his nation. Like, he could be like, let's say like
and
it's
it's
average
like
autonomy.
developed provinces. I'm pretty sure.
So it's
And to yeah, that's
he could even consider, like, if you go government reforms, the third one, bureaucracy, to flip for 50 government reform progress into the
yeah.
reduced
He's
autonomy.
using the. Oh, he's using the cultures though.
yeah, but you
Okay,
don't
you
lose them, right? You keep them.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
So just flip out of it.
Oh yeah, definitely flip out of it. Then that's a good decision.
Okay, I thought he would lose it, but even then, it might have been worth it, just to get his
Yeah.
autonomy down, because it's
Yeah, and you can flip back at it once the autonomy is down, right? It only
yeah, that's
like
generally the play, right?
I with my VJ, I also flipped to States General just so I would be able to flip my deity and wouldn't have a better king short term. And I'm already ready to flip to something else again. But like I think with the new mechanics that it only costs 50 points, it's actually worth it to flip around.
Maybe 50 points is a bit too less. Maybe it should be
Right.
50 and a stat or something, but that's
Yeah.
topic.
Let's look at
yeah.
Switzerland. Just one sec, actually. Do type something out in Discord. Alright, Switzerland. Income is still amazing. Switzerland's just made a really good nation. And
No, if I was being cynical, I would say he built it up nicely for Prussia to eat. Because Switzerland is missing a little bit the military quality, and he's very
he's
rich,
still
but
pretty
like
good,
his provinces, it's like prime land to eat, which is like if you're super rich but your military is weak, like because you build manufactories and stuff, you tend to like draw opponents in to eat you because like
Would you
it's
say his military
relatively
is that
easy.
weak, though?
I don't think it's a pushover.
Yeah, me neither.
Not saying it's a pushover. I'm just saying like his force limit is like I think he doesn't have. He has quite a few manufactories, but he barely has force limit buildings. But I might be wrong. Maybe you can check that.
His force limit is
I think
167, so it's not bad, and he's got a fair amount of force limit buildings already, and with his income, it shouldn't take too long to catch up to that. I definitely don't think Switzerland's a pushover in any.
Oh wait, this force limit is actually pretty high. Yeah, then sorry, then I was stupid. I think
his
I
force limit
mixed
is
it up with something.
167. He's definitely
Yeah,
no
that's
longer
fine.
the French vessel. I would say that much.
A few things about Switzerland. One thing, land of the forts, maybe a bit overspending there, but he, as Switzerland, definitely should have taken the age objective for mercenary discipline because he has 5% mercenary discipline also already in his national ideas. That would have meant he would already be at 10% mercenary discipline.
Oh yeah, and
And
he has other
should
bonuses
definitely
to
have
mercenaries as well.
plutocratic ideas, because then he could have gone operating 12.5 mercenary discipline.
It shouldn't take him long to take the
But then, like,
age bonus.
really, like, Smirks just be Prussia, like, and do it all over the quality.
You also have to consider that. He's no longer allied to France. That is a new development. He's allied to Britain now. But yeah, you also have to, even if he's only allied to Britain, you also have to consider that he is not as isolated in this part of the world as Prussia is, because Prussia is allied to me. But I'm not gonna march into Europe and help him in a regular war unless he's dying. So like, Switzerland has that benefit of having a defensive ally that's like right around the corner that's gonna help him out.
And he can now eat Munich, basically like Bavaria.
Yeah.
And
he's already.
I think he's actually in a really good spot, to be honest. Like
Me too.
The more I look at it, the better it looks. The only thing that makes me sad is that he didn't go plutocratic, because I feel like that's the most underrated idea group. Nobody, including me, took it, even though I feel like it's actually one of the best.
His fort line's pretty good, and I think the move with rivaling France might have been a good one, depending on how the French player does his Diplo before the next session, because France is just completely isolated now and just a horrible spot.
He also has his victory card on France, by the way.
Both of them? No, one
of them. And I think it's the 2K one though. So
yeah, the 2K is in France, 1K is in Tyrol in Italy. So yeah, that's about it for Switzerland. I think it's a really strong country. He's the 18th on score because, again, it's a really strong country, but he hasn't gotten his victory cards yet. Although, like, when he does, he can remedy that really quickly. Whoever wins in Europe is gonna skyrocket in score, like in a couple sessions, basically.
Yeah. Like, I feel like if Switzerland and England together fight France, that would be very smart for them.
Yeah,
but
then
again, at that point, France might actually, like, Prussia might ally France.
Yeah,
and
I was gonna say France has a lifeline in Prussia, and I'm pretty sure that alliance is gonna happen because that's the only way that France can survive right now, and it would also give Prussia an easier time into like Italian and Swiss lands. Alright, let's.
Yeah, it's also like a big danger at the moment because if France or Prussia would attack Holland, Great Britain for Holland, and
be able to
Switzerland
step it.
join, they would be able. Yeah, they might even get to 99% if they occupy the Vorgul, all of Holland, and all of
And
Switzerland.
Norway as well.
Not sure. It's gonna be
Occupying
really high
Yeah, they got a
all
bunch
or-
more in Norway as well, so they would
because
they would
all
be
of
able
those
to get a
forts
lot.
in Switzerland, like that's a lot of war score.
Yep.
It's also a lot of, to siege and to defend on. So
All right, let's look
Yeah,
at
but
France.
Great Britain won't be able to help though, so it's going to be Prussia and France only versus Switzerland. I don't think that's going to be a close war though.
Well, we were yet to come to Great Britain. You have to remember he went Irish ideas and he built his nation militarily. So let's wait to take a look, and then we'll see how strong he is army-wise.
Yeah, it's for sure. I want to say it's a very good Switzerland. I feel like the player did very good Diplo and stuff so far because
Yeah.
it's a well built up nation.
Let's look at France now. He's behind on morale compared to his neighbors by quite a bit. I wonder why that is. Oh,
Power,
maintenance.
projection, and prestige, probably.
It's maintenance. Yeah, if he brings up maintenance, I think he's going to be above, so I'm wrong on that one. Quantity, economic quality, that's very good. And yeah, France was much stronger, but I definitely think if he does proper Diplo now, he can get a lot more stronger again. Especially since England took all of this land, and like you said, even if they just declare in England, they can stab at him for whatever they want in here, because he took everything in Holland and Norway.
By the way, they could also support this independence of Holland.
Is Holland?
Holland would get
yeah.
immediately to 100, I think.
Yeah, so that might be a good play to support independence of Holland. His force limit is 226, which is the highest in Europe, I'm pretty sure. Income is also the highest in Europe, so, well, not counting the Ottomans, obviously. So
and
France.
GB is more.
Oh, right. I should have.
Britain has more as well.
Yeah, that's what he said. I should have expected Britain has more income.
But I wouldn't call Britain Europe though.
Oh yeah, they they had UKIP, so.
Yeah, and it's more like Mr. Worldwide than Mr. Britain.
Pretty good king. He didn't trigger. Oh, the king's 58. He didn't trigger his golden age though yet, so that might be a good thing to do if you get another good ruler, or if you need to.
But I think he can't. He won't be able to get all the. He needs 3 objectives, and he won't be able to. Like with France, you usually either have to do it in the first age or the third age, because the second age it's really hard to.
Yeah.
Unless you flip Protestant and go humanist or religious, it's really hard.
Oh, Protestant enforce religion on someone and convert 10 provinces. It's super easy.
Yeah, it's doable. Yeah, it's true. It's doable. But
It's
not
like
definitely.
a guy who's still Catholic.
I definitely think
Which I
should convert
many
to Protestant. Yeah.
I think you should go Hindu, TBH.
The ultimate.
I mean, actually, Reformed would be an option because he would be constant defender of the faith.
he has an
which-
insane
Yeah, but it
death
doesn't give anything
capacity.
anymore, does it?
Ah, yeah, because we haven't changed it yet. Yeah, wait, we're gonna have to change defender of the faith stuff at some point.
Alright.
Hindu also doesn't get one, which is kind of
His victory cards are in England and Spain. His 2 rivals. Again, the problem with that is that they're literally all hugboxing. I don't know if he's fighting England anymore. It looks like they're knowledge sharing, so they might be friendly. But yeah, with Switzerland planning to attack him, most likely, I think England's going to be his rival as well. Optimistically, he's going to be fighting everyone.
I mean, it depends on the situation though, because I mean, if like Prussia is getting really strong and Switzerland is also kind of strong, so if Switzerland gets to eat France and form France afterwards, it's gonna be scary.
Yeah.
So Prussia might not like that. And if France gets to eat Switzerland, then people also won't be liking that because then Prussia and France get too strong. Like there are several Diplo stuffs
I
to
think
go. And
over
Spain
the
is
sea-
The Ottomans is interested in keeping Switzerland alive so Prussia doesn't grow. So
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of Diplo that is entwined in Europe. Like everyone has someone they really don't like, so it's
Yeah,
gonna
the
be
European
interesting.
situation is really complicated. The only problem for France is that everyone's got victory cards on him except for Prussia, so that's his only potential ally. And you know, we might see something odd, like because his 1k victory card is in on England,
I wouldn't
so you might
focus-
want to skip that.
I wouldn't focus solely on victory cards though, because it's not worth going for a victory card if it means that your neighboring nation that you kill gets eaten by somebody else. Like
Yeah,
For example,
to
if
think
if,
long term.
if Switzerland would die, France would get way less out of it than Prussia. So I think it's not really in France's interest to have Switzerland die necessarily, and stuff like that. So you also have to take like the power situation into account, because if you only go blindly after victory cards, you can end up in a situation where you, after you get the victory card, you just die.
I do think
So
that what we're gonna see next session is most likely a France-Prussia alliance, and they're gonna beat up on Switzerland and England. I think that's the only way the France player can survive really here, because Spain is hogboxing with everyone around, and even though France is in a much
But
stronger
why
position.
would Prussia though?
why not? He wants to eat Switzerland, right?
Yeah, he
Why
wants,
wouldn't
like, he likely
Switzerland?
wants the German lands. I don't see why not.
South. Oh, I was thinking he'd go south, get all the British money, fight everyone,
I mean,
win game.
yeah, sure,
But,
he can eat Bohemia, of course, but afterwards AI is gonna be gone, and then the natural way to push would be Switzerland,
Yeah,
because
like
it's
Leo
German
said,
land,
if
well-developed land, like it's good money. Like, why wouldn't he go after it
if
afterwards?
Prussia
I would
lets
think it's also
if Prussia
okay,
lets
yeah,
France die, he's gonna be in a really weak spot, because whoever kills France is likely gonna ally Ottomans, and that's gonna box in Prussia. So I think Prussia is also gonna look at that situation and realize that France is his only like viable long-term ally in the West.
And it's also like a balance for him, because like if it dies, Italy, if Italy and Spain eat France, then they're gonna get strong. Like
Yeah, they're all
France
friendly with
dying
Ottomans
gives
already.
zero advantage to Prussia, but several advantages to its neighbors. So
Yeah.
it's a bad nation to die from Prussia's point of view.
But like, we're
But it's
talking-
also like a bad nation for Spain and Italy to stay alive. So it's like
Yeah,
many
sure.
nations have to choose there one way or the other.
So basically, France is really strong still, and the only advice we can give him is to ally Prussia and survive.
And Finnish ideas, like yikes. At the
You
10%.
say yikes. Look at his neighbors before you say yikes. Okay, Switzerland is exception, but Spain is
I mean,
main
to be-
rival. Yeah.
To be fair, though, that's kind of historically accurate, right? That the Europeans are behind on tech and the whole world is basically ahead on tech on them.
Oh yeah.
Makes sense.
Alright, let's look at GB and see what we were bashing. Right off the bat, 163,000 manpower, really strong. Very good force limit. And yeah, I don't think we should have discredited Britain as much militarily as we did. And he still has a lot of force limit buildings to build. I definitely think he's going to be a competitor land-wise, and he's already getting some Aztecs in Britain, so...
Yeah, so they prepare some kind of attack, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume Switzerland and Great Britain are planning to attack France next session. It's pretty
Yeah,
obvious, I think.
with the Aztec help,
Yeah.
I'm confident that's what's going on.
It was very, to elaborate, there was very open hostility after France lost, but there was a mishap that gave a truce between GB and France, so there was no war. And now it's 5 days to go till next session, so expect the upload to happen. So
just so I can display what I was talking about earlier with the manpower from nobility, so you click this button, and then you figure out a way to give nobility some land, because he's at 100%. So you give them, you give them this privilege, you give them land. They're the only ones that have land. Every time you click sale of titles, they get land, no one else does. And then this grows exponentially, and you're gonna get so much fucking manpower, it's ridiculous. Because when you get to 70-30, 30% crown land, 70% nobility, they're gonna be giving you, I think, 80% bonus manpower, and it's just ridiculous. It's just from playing the estates right. That's what I was talking about earlier, and that's what everyone should be doing. And on top of that, you can easily just, when you just have one estate having land, it's so much easier to control them. You seize land and you sell it like on cooldown, and you're gonna be getting insane amounts of money, because when you're at 30% crown land, the amount of money you get from selling titles scales up. And at this point in the game, if he has 30% and then he sells and then instantly seizes afterwards, he's gonna be getting like 8,000 ducats just from that. It's fucking ridiculous how strong it is, and everyone should be doing it.
And you can, by the way, you can get the nobility's land if you have noble rebels. So if you have events that like can spawn them, sometimes you have to choose like between losing 25 diplomacy, getting autonomy in a province, or having noble rebels spawn. So then you just pick spawn the noble rebels, you accept their demand, then they get 10% land, and then That's the way, the easiest way to get it, I think.
Never thought of that. Nice.
Yeah, noble rebels are perfect. Like usually, like I realized it when I thought about like how I used to get absolutism by spawning like peasants and give them like autonomy everywhere. And like if you give in to either clergy rebels, then you get the crown land. Like the clergy gets 10% crown land. If you give up to peasants, they get 10% or 5%. I don't know, but some kind of percent of crown land. And you can do the same with noble rebels for the nobility.
Right.
Because waiting for the event is otherwise kind of time consuming.
Very chunky income, very good army. His morale is about on par with France, which is concerning for France. More disciplined than France, and he has more professionalism to slacken with as well. So all of that is concerning it on, as well as the fact that he's getting allies landing here, 80,000 Aztecs and 200,000 Swiss ready to go to war, or 100,000.
I have to say though,
advisors.
Great Britain went for meme ideas, so I think France militarily is still stronger.
Oh yeah,
Chunks advisors.
Shit, forgot about that one. Yeah, but I mean, like, the next tech gives them a new idea group, then he can fill out a new idea group. So
Great Britain could actually be the first nation to go for plutocratic ideas. Make me proud.
No, there are other nations that have it already.
Both of his victory cards are on France, so I think what we were talking about has been confirmed, and his advisors are amazing. The clans, what the fuck are the clans? Is that the Irish idea thing?
Yeah, it's the same culture advisors.
Minus 20%, that is insane. 4 ducats for a +5, and he's not even a 50% off. If this was a 50% off advisor, it'd be 2 ducats for a +5. This is insane.
But that's innovative ideas in addition to that.
Yeah, but this
like
is just stupid. So if he gets lucky with a half cost advisor, he's just gonna get them for free.
But who cares if it's a full cost advisor for 4 or a half cost advisor for 2?
Yeah, I'm just saying it's insane. That's really fucking nuts. That's.
I mean, actually,
to
be fair, like the difference between 4 ducats and 8 ducats already isn't that big, I think. But like getting it this low already is kind of a achievement.
That's gonna be just insane deving all around. And
I may just criticize a little bit because I feel Octa has been like stroked a little bit too much in his ego. So let's try.
I will help you, Leo. I tried to, in single player test game, fight the Mali AI just to let's conquer Africa, and it just kicked me in the teeth.
Yeah,
no, I just like you can with one click you can get one monarch point in each category, which is scornfully insult Russia. Problem solved.
Oof. Imagine
that's horrible.
Imagine not sending insults.
Or you could hunt, you could pirate something, or you could you should be able to get 50 power projection.
Yeah, it's just fallen under because I didn't pay attention.
Yeah,
which is inefficient.
Yes, exactly.
I am pirating Italy though.
So, okay, you are. Wait, what? Why it's your?
No, you're not right now.
No, you're not at the moment. Probably it was.
Oh yeah, they went home or something.
No, they're protecting.
You're protecting trade in Venice at the moment.
Oh yeah, I tested that at the end of the session, sending a merchant to Venice to see if I could collect instead of privateer because he bought so many galleys.
Okay.
Alright, let's move on to Spain.
Sick man of Europe, my opinion.
Just kidding.
I mean, yes, he got a lot of land back from France, but his inflation, 30%, that hurts him.
Yeah.
He's behind an admin tech, meaning he doesn't get his national ideas, the 5 discipline. He's gonna miss out on strong policies. He's not gonna unlock the next idea group. So he got his land back, but he's not out of the woods.
Yeah, and he's behind on the estates by far. No advisor.
He also has given the burghers control over monetary policy, which means all power cost plus 5%.
Yeah, I think that's to get inflation under control.
I don't understand why no advisor.
And just money. Yeah, it makes sense, but it's still kind of painful, TBH. I think his advisor probably just died. I think he's gonna rehire one immediately next session. Like, there's no reason.
Is good. He's got really good generals, and yeah, I wouldn't say dying man of Europe. I think he's on the rise definitely because he had a really rough start, and he's improving by far. But
not dying, but sick. What he should, like, in August, he can change his crown focus. He should definitely put it on admin.
Yeah.
Like, his mill is fine, and he will make it to Tech 15 on time, no question asked there. And he's not doing a mill idea group, so put it on admin, get inflation in control, get to admin Tech 14 to get the next idea group. Ideally pick a Diplo one, and then finish off Eco, and yeah, go from there.
Yeah, and
yeah,
I don't know, the Diplo situation with him is also kind of funky. I think that if France starts collapsing, he should seize on that opportunity and try and improve his position there a little bit, because otherwise he's boxed himself in with allies, and Aztec has this little piece here which is concerning, so maybe he should be grabbing some of France to have a little more control in Europe.
No.
If able. But
also has the same victory card as GB on France, like Provence State.
Oh, so, are they the same? Yeah. So that's gonna be contested, and they're both the 2K one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's his victory cards as well. He's the 12th in score because he doesn't have him, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything that's there to say about Spain.
I don't think he should be drilling his cannon stacks because cannons are super expensive to drill. Just what he should do in peacetime: lower maintenance. Don't drill with your cannons. If you want to drill to build up professionalism, drill with infantry. It's much cheaper.
I disagree,
and
though,
in his situation, he needs money to build up his nation. It's just constantly at war. His manpower pool is okayish, but his force limit is really low. Like, he needs money to build more army.
Yeah, if he doesn't pay for his army, he actually makes 31 ducats. Yeah. So every 3 months he can build a force limit buildings, or like he could build eco buildings, like whatever he needs to build. But
okay, I agree with that point. But in general, you don't want to advise people not to drill cannons, because the cannons are generally the best units to drill, because they lose army drill much slower than infantry, because they don't actually die off.
Yeah, but they cost so much money to drill.
I know.
Yeah, if you drill for the professionalism, drill infantry, and if you have no economy, try not to drill cannons at all.
So yeah, if you have money, drill cannons, but otherwise, in this situation, drill infantry if you're doing it for professionalism.
Or drill nothing. I don't think it's worth it to drill at all, honestly.
I don't
like if you have a lot of money, sure, but like, if money is an issue, you don't do it, basically. Like, Great Britain can do it, like maybe Switzerland can do it, but I feel like most other nations still have to build buildings, and then I'd rather have the buildings than the little bit of drill. I mean, what does 100% drill even give? Like 10% shock damage or something?
It's the manpower bank. It's the manpower bank that's important.
Yeah, but like I think for the manpower, it's not worth it at all, because if you drill 100% of your army, you get 1% professionalism per year. That's super inefficient, because if you get 30, like just Spain for example, if he doesn't pay for his army, which isn't even a max army by the way, so it would get more expensive if he would go to full force limit, it makes a difference of 30 ducats for him. And that's almost 400 ducats in a year for one professionalism. I think it's way more worth it to take the money and build your country up. Like,
yeah, but he's already built up a lot. What I was gonna say is I don't understand why he let Portugal get North Morocco, because that's a 15 morale mission for him. If he gets this state, I don't really know why he let Portugal grab that. That is really important for Spain.
Portugal grabbed that very early. I think it was lack of foresight.
It's a really important move for Spain to grab that province, because it helps you win the war. You know, the war. It helps you win it a lot. I mean, 15% for 15 years is major. Alright, let's move on to Portugal. Let's see his victories.
Yeah, Portugal a bit was very unfortunate for him to be in 2 wars. Like, he got decked on by the Aztecs and lost 3 provinces. Yeah. He was in the France war. Still hasn't finished the mission for the Brazilian gold mines, which will finally give him economy. Like, this economy for Portugal,
it's not good.
It's a bit of a joke.
Yeah.
But you have to say, I have to say though, like, Portugal
also stop war taxes. Stop war taxes.
Portugal,
Does he have
yeah,
Vortex is running still?
Yeah.
like Portugal got scuffed heavily though by having a Mali, having a Congo, having a Kilba, having a Aztec. Like he couldn't go for own provinces in Africa. He couldn't go for
I
strong
mean,
colonial
honestly, let
nations.
me just say about that. Like, that's normal seeding, and you can't say that he got scuffed about because of that. Because at the same time, he could have made deals with all of them, because most of them don't care about the coastline. Mali, why would Mali care about Ivory Coast? You know, you can easily make deals and snake around and get what you need. Because one, Portugal isn't gonna go inland. Britain and Spain might. So it's better for them to have Portugal there than Britain and Spain. And they have a sort of syncretic relationship where Portugal doesn't let Britain or Spain land and go inland, and they protect Portugal from Britain and Spain. So, if again, this is another do better Diplo, but I think he could have done better Diplo with Mali and Congo and gone all of the Ivory Coast and snaked into Kilwa and further. But
Yeah, I'm not so sure though. Since you have a strong Great Britain, I think it's always going to be hard for Portugal in this situation, unless you're like super lucky with Diplo. And of course, like you could make such deals, but a lot of players as Congo and as Mali are still gonna say I want the coastline too, because if I own the coastline, it's even harder to land there. So
yeah,
than if
but
Portugal owns it. So
I don't know. I'd say that would be a bad move for them rather than to ally one of the colonizers against the other
I think
ones.
actually the best play for Portugal would have been to go to kill Aztec immediately. Like use all of the Portuguese colonial advantages to go there as quick as possible, and then just when Aztec
Yeah, but that's
has
really niche, and you know, honestly, we shouldn't have seeded Aztec to begin with, so that one's on us. But yeah, if you have Aztec seeding as Portugal, you should probably try and rush and kill them. All right.
hard.
But honestly, if
Portuguese
I wouldn't have
especially
been there, then it would have been English Mexico, and we would have even stronger GB. It would not have been Iberian. Like, I bet that.
Yeah, I agree with that. And like, I just want to say, like, one of the reasons why I argued heavily for a buff of Portugal is because I feel like Portugal is one of the weakest nation. Unless you have nations who really are open to good Diplo with you, it's gonna be really hard for Portugal to have effect. Like to get Spain, for example, to actually give him his trade for the trade deal. Like a lot of countries I saw like don't make trade deals, even though it would benefit them heavily.
Yeah.
Like Portugal has double the trade efficiency than Spain, yet they don't make a trade deal in Sevilla, for example. It's just one example. That would be easy, and since they are friendly anyways, like
Yeah, you should
why
definitely be
don't
doing that trade deal where Spain.
it's only like 2
transfers money to
ducats
you.
a month or something, maybe for both of them, but like
It's
it
free
adds
money.
up.
Yeah,
And
that's
then you
kind of what I noticed with with many players. Like, I was I'm the Aztecs, and I was the only one who was trying to talk to the Iberians. They never tried to at least approach me. Hey, like always talk to your neighbors, even if you plan to kill them.
Yeah.
Like, it's the best advice you can give in a multiplayer. Talk to people, and even if it end up with, hey, nice to know you, I'm gonna kill you. Okay, that's fair, can happen. But talk first and then move on from there.
Portugal's still missing all 3 of his estate privileges for mana bonuses, so it's 1570. Portugal's a bit behind. I don't know what else to say about this country. He should definitely be making that trade deal with Spain, because that could be his game is benefiting Spain with providing more trade, and that's kind of your role as Portugal anyway if you don't decide to kill Castile.
A minor gain you can get quickly is also finish exploration ideas. Then he unlocks his next policies, and one of the policies gives him plus 25 sailors. So you can colonize even faster.
Yeah.
But yeah. And again, the gold mine mission for Brazil, he only has to upgrade the gold mine in Rio de Janeiro, for which he needs to get these, but that can happen. Then he can instantly click the mission, and he gets plus 2 goods produced gold mine in Minas Gerais, and he's gonna get gold. The missions, and then the most left branch, and then the mission is unlocked. Promote the he just needs to upgrade Rio de Janeiro. It's
yeah, I don't understand why you wouldn't do that.
He's at war. He can't do
it. Brazil here, it actually used to be level 2. I bankrupted and then it dropped, so he might not even be aware. It's not actually.
Yeah, he should have clicked that mission then while it was upgraded, because That's a pretty big one, isn't it?
More gold in
Yeah,
Brazil.
it's huge.
+2 goods produced gold mine. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I don't know how the
So
treasure
yeah,
fleet
Brazil
mechanic
should definitely tell him to do that.
Ethereum can min-max the income from it, I think. But how that works exactly, I don't know.
Alright, his victory cards are Brazil and one in Congo here. And
The Brazilian might should get fixed as well if the Kilber one gets fixed.
Yeah,
Just putting
obviously
that out.
we're gonna need to fix that too. I didn't. Yeah, that's. I
Wait,
don't know.
does he have his victory card at the moment? Because then we could see if he gets it or
He
not.
owns it.
I doesn't own all provinces. No,
Congo.
one is still owned by Congo.
Right. Let's
Oh wait, go to the colonial nation first. To Brasilia, like tag into Brasilia, then add core on the province. No, don't own core. Just add core.
If you go into victory cards and hover over the victory card, it says you own 0 out of 5 provinces.
Yeah, but that might just be a visual bug. Okay. So let's just see now. Add own the province. Yeah, own it. So now he owns all of them, right?
Yeah.
The whole victory card is technically controlled by him.
Still no.
And yeah.
Okay, now wait a month and then let's see. Like, let's play a month. Now go to score. You still don't get it. Okay, yeah, then it's a bug, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to do again.
Alright, let's look at Aztec in the colonies and finish it up. I have to go to work.
Yeah.
Oh no, we just did that, yeah.
We didn't miss anyone in Europe, did we?
Nope.
Honestly, I think there's very little to actually see in America. It's just Aztec kills everyone whenever he feels like it. End of story.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's pure realistic.
If I want, I could kill everyone in the New World right now, yes. But that's mostly because Spain was so late to the... Like, the colonizers, except GB, were all late to the party.
In a really good income.
It's second or third highest right now in the world. I have plutocratic ideas. The income is gonna skyrocket because I can build so many plantations, which are Tech 14. And I have...
And you don't have force limit buildings yet. Oh my god.
Yeah.
What?
He's gonna go nuts.
Yes. And like, with the plantations, my income, like production income is gonna double.
Yeah, when you start building the force limit buildings, you're just gonna fucking skyrocket.
Yeah, but I think it's more impressive the manufactories and the trade income that you get from that as well.
Yeah.
That's gonna be your income is gonna be retarded.
Yeah. The thing is, it will never make a lot of money from trade because trade it leaks left, right, and center. I will never.
Wait, how much do you make in Panama at the moment, if I may ask?
I collected Mexico and Panama because Mexico is. I still have a lot of trade power, and yeah, Panama is just leaking.
Then let's go to Mexico, please, so I can see. 17.9. Okay. Yeah, but once you have manufactories, it's still gonna increase. So.
Yeah, but it's always like it's gonna be half of the money I make from production, and usually it's 1-to-1.
He got his victory card in Sus, and
the
other one. Oh, he only has
2K,
one.
No, he has two. One is in Caribbean Islands.
Right, yeah.
And I mean, it's on islands and it's GB. Like getting that victory card.
I don't think it's possible right now.
Yeah, so the one in Spain is much more likely, even if it's on the other end of the on a different continent.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Aztec is still gonna be the strongest nation in the world pretty soon. So.
I mean, the land is all super low depth. You say I can build a lot, but I don't have the building slots because it's all 3 or 5 depth. So putting all that stuff to 20 to build all the important buildings. And you really have
look
to
at the mana generation you're getting. Like with the
on the provinces.
Boo-hoo. I'm only gonna make 400 ducats and have 600 force limit. I'm such a poor Aztec.
Yeah. Alright.
Hello, my gold mines collapsed multiple times. Yeah, be sorry.
That's
now I'm literally tearing up right now.
Move to Brazil. expanded a lot, didn't die. I think those are both achievements.
Unfortunately, he went bankrupt once
Yeah.
because
I mean, yeah,
he
go
didn't
on.
have a choice in that. Let's put it this way.
Incoming
He
craze.
got
I
yeah.
think Brazil's
was
developing nicely now, and if he can like strengthen his position here, and Portugal dies, it might be a decent nation. But I think you need to be making deals for that to happen.
You might want to check tech.
I mean, Portugal doesn't have to die. Maybe like a deal. Hey, I'm going to release you, which will make him even stronger because
Yeah, that's what I was advising. I think
and then
Portugal should
ally.
only release Brazil, and if he
Did
trusts
we
him
allow
as an
that
ally-
though? I thought we didn't
We did.
allow that. We did? Because
Yeah,
that's kind of
it's-
broken.
Obviously, only after the gold mission.
Well,
but
the thing is,
like,
it's not really broken because we don't enforce the deal. So if Brazil then turns around and betrays him, tough shit, you know. So I don't really think it's too broken.
on the other hand, like for Brazil, going independent also sets him up for like an Aztec invasion.
Yeah.
So it's
Uh,
if
do
he
you
goes independent Portugal, he be very sure that he is not going to get gobbled up or something. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I mean, you have like Portugal can't stop you from killing me. I can't see any world where that
Portugal
ever.
joins the war and siege down all of Brazil. Do you think it can get more than a 25% was score deal? Because I will not get to 100 because then suddenly all of Iberia is in the deal and Mali, and
Yeah.
getting to high war score is not
I mean,
going to happen.
Yeah, but
Sure,
that's
you-
why you have
Sure,
Rand
it will be tougher, like hell, but it wouldn't be an Aztec win by any stretch. But if you are alone, I can completely siege you down. If you're completely siege down for 5 years, I would automatically get 100% war score. So you have to think along those lines. It's, independence is not always the best. So
Yeah, right now it's not, but
I mean, you can also make that argument the other way around. Like, for instance, like if Spain if you ever go to war with the Iberians again, I'm a huge disadvantage because I'm just 3 war score in that fight as a colony. As independent, I might choose to not get called in.
just saying you should not go blindly in one direction and think about the pros and cons.
all right.
I mean, yeah, obviously, it's
Also,
not
like,
a straightforward decision.
I don't.
Let's look
up
at
there, but-
13 colonies. And we also had Caribas, but did he play last session?
He was there, yes. He
Yeah.
even shares not to the X6. He gets a lot of money.
What?
He's knowledge sharing.
Okay. Did his overlord allow that?
Yes, yeah. I like to be overlord.
Oh, I see. 13 colonies seems like a really good colonial nation so far. Making a lot of income, hired all the advisors, which I think he had from the start. I don't think that was his issue. Power projections low, but I don't think colonies can really do anything about that. Estates we're gonna fix next season, I'm sure. And he went with the Aquatic quality expansion. Yeah, pretty good picks. That's pretty much it that there is to say. Just look at the buildings, I guess. If he uses this income and builds up, he could definitely have a lot more force limit, and that's gonna help him with. It's gonna help his overlord too.
All the good factories are on the locked behind the next admin tech, so then he can really start to make a lot of money
Yeah.
for him and his overlord. So yeah, it's almost 500 tech. That's nice.
Yeah, this is definitely the strongest colony so far. He's got some professionalism to second with, 55 unit cap. This is a really good one. And is he reaching? Where's the colonial thing? Yeah, he's about to exceed his colonial range though, which is the only thing that's going to slow him down, because we only allowed him to colonize inside of their native area. But after that, he's going to have a lot of deving and purchasing to do, and if we can't get new colonial players, we might allow him to go into a second colonial region too. So not to weaken the overlord too much.
Yeah, on that matter, which colonial nations would be viable?
Well, Louisiana would be one that we're looking to seed, but the thing is, we're probably going to try and seed La Plata first, because Portugal needs to be balanced with England, and England already has 2, Portugal has 1. So seeding another British colony would be, unbalanced, unfair.
Maybe a interesting one, like if Shimazu hurries up and spawns a colonial nation in Alaska.
Oh yeah, if Shimazu spawns a colonial nation, he would be the first one to get one.
It gets really nice national ideas. So maybe that's an incentive for a human to join there.
Yeah. West Indies is the last one. We're looking at amazing income. That's from 20 from knowledge sharing. That's really chunky. That's gonna build you some buildings, which he hasn't started yet. But
Isn't it all?
sorry.
Yeah, Tech 14 for the manufactories. That's next, admin tech.
Yeah. And then he's gonna get some more income. I think he's in a pretty good spot. I don't know why he's not hiring advisors again. That's a problem.
Next at Europe, I think quality would be best for him, so you get some naval morale because it's an
yeah,
island
because he's
nation.
an island nation, so he would definitely need to go quality, and we also might look into allowing maritime for Caribbean next
But why?
season, because he's an island nation.
Yeah.
But that makes it even more broken. That's like he can only focus on navy, not caring about land. It's like
Yeah, but his colonial region is also like the smallest in the New World as well, so it's kind of a niche nation.
But high def and most of the trade goes through it, all right. So
Well,
it's
you know.
actually one of the richest ones.
We will
Yeah, but like
discuss that.
so few provinces, if he builds manpower buildings everywhere, it's still gonna be mediocre.
I would more go like instead of allowing him to go naval, I would prefer to allow him to go quantity.
Oh yeah.
Also, quantity is kind of scuffed anyways, and a bad idea group to have. So I would allow anyone to go quantity.
And
Wouldn't
none
sign
of the
that.
colonies get victory cards, so that would wrap it up.
Yeah.
Alright, I gotta go dip to work. I'll edit this and post tomorrow.